All right. Here it is. What we've all been waiting for. The end of the year. The big moment. Yeah. So pretty much same thing as last time. We're gonna do a tier list ranking, not of games that came out in 2023, but of all the games I happen to have played in 2020. Which it's there's a lot here, so we're gonna probably get into this quickly. Let me make sure the background music is okay. All right, I guess we're just gonna get started now, even though there's no one here yet. It's cool. Maybe I did start this a little too early. Not passive aggressive, it was just sad. It's cool. But alright, well, just for that, Zelda goes into the bottom tier. Alright, but we will start there, I guess, because it's right there anyways. So this is Breath of the Wild, right? Alright, so no surprise, shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who watched me play these. The new Zelda games, it's not like really a game for me. I'm not into the big, huge open world thing. I'm more into like the classic 3D Zelda games. They're not bad, obviously, but they're really not up my alley either. Like just the fact that, I don't know, it's just, I hope we keep getting new Zeldas that are not like I don't mind if they keep doing this, but I want the classic style ones too once in a while. That'd be nice. Pretty much is what I got to say about that. So I'm gonna put this in this okay section because that's just that's my personal enjoyment of the game, and that's all a tier list is really about it. And this, I mean, this is gonna be a quick start right here because Tears of the Kingdom, I legitimately don't feel any different. They pretty much feel exactly the same to me. The only thing that might give Tears of the Kingdom a little bit of an edge for me is that the final boss fight was like 10 times better. I will say that. So maybe I can go in front there if that makes any difference. Yeah, because even I've heard from other people in Breath of the Wild, it's either like me where I'm dumb and I never learned the thing you're supposed to learn to do it, which I don't think most people have that experience, or it was too easy for a lot of people because they took their time getting to the final boss and then apparently it was a pushover. Whereas with Tears of the Kingdom, it felt like a really very like a good balanced challenge of a fight, and it was really satisfying. Like the fact that the final boss does decent damage, but then there's his base minions outside who do more damage than him. It's like, come on, it's silly. It would make more sense for him to do it than anyone else, but no. I'm glad that he's the only person in the game who apparently doesn't care about your armor level. Alright, so we need to move because I don't want to just have everything. People are gonna just join and see this and they're gonna be like, oh, who's this guy think he is? So I'm gonna skip ahead just real quick and I'm gonna grab Street Fighter 6 here. And let's see, I did enjoy it quite a bit. It definitely was an improvement over 5. It's tricky. I'm trying to think here. Let me try to think here. As a fighting game, I think it's quite good. It feels good to me. I'm actually able to get an okay use out of the special mechanics, which I don't often do. Like, I never use focus attacks in 4. I love 4. But in this game, I was actually starting... I get a little bit of use out of, like, the... what do you call it? The drive stuff? Is that what it's called? Drive? Okay. So, I don't know. This might come up to excellent, honestly. I'm trying to think of complaints I have about it. It's been a while since I've even played it. Yeah, that's true. Microtransactions stuck. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. The online servers when I was trying to do the beta was not working at all. Yeah, but why didn't they let me play offline in the beta? That would have fixed everything. That really annoyed me. Very simple. All they had to do was give me. That's one thing. Is just like, yeah, that extra focus on online stuff, which I don't really care about so much. It really feels like in between here, but I don't want to make another tier. It's a little hard for me to decide here. Does it go up here? Because this would definitely be like Street Fighter 4 level. The Street Fighter 4 is probably my second favorite Street Fighter game. Third Strike is my favorite. But the thing is, I don't even know that Street Fighter 4 might even go up high because I really like it. But maybe this should go in excellent. I think I'll do that there. It's a fun game. It's good. It's really good. We'll see as it goes on if they put characters I actually want to play. Because so far the first wave of characters I don't really. Yeah, obviously Akuma. I don't know why it's just like I've told you before. I never really play Akuma. Oh, speaking of Street Fighter. 7-6. Hey Sleepy, welcome. I love it. That's another reason why the Anniversary Collection was skirt. Let's just go right to that now. Where is it? Oh. Alright, so this is specifically for Street Fighter Anniversary, 30th Anniversary Collection, which... Let me turn this down more. That's not actually going there. More background noise than like... Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay, so Anniversary Collection, on the surface you'd think, oh, this is great. It has like every version of Street Fighter 2, every version of Street Fighter 3. It has the alpha games. It has one for some reason. But the main problem with this collection is that it's only the arcade modes of all the games. Which sounds cool, but it really isn't, because it just means you're missing out on all the console, like the home versions, which have proper like versus mode, that has practice, there's options in general you can really mess with. There's a lot of things you're missing by the fact that you can only play the arcade versions. And then the other big complaint I have is that it doesn't by default have it so that you have a button that has all three punches and a button for all three kicks. And that is so vital for someone who's a gamepad player for Street Fighter. All of the games just have that by default usually. And if they don't, you'd think, oh, well, can I like just, add them in? No, you can't. They have a bit of a controller options, but then they don't give you that option for some reason. Weird. So that honestly brings the collection down to me for like, okay. Because, like, it probably should have been like up here, but it got sunked one for only arcade versions, and it got sunked again for the control issue. So yeah, it's okay. It's an okay collection. It could have been better. And also, if you're gonna have, this is a new collection with Third Strike on it, they should have had the freaking remix music option, because I love it. PS3 version of Third Strike is like the best version just for that alone, because the remix. So good. Yeah, which is good too. Like, it's still good music, but it's like I love the remix songs, which is only a couple songs, but they're really good. Yeah. Right, it just hits so hard. All right, kind of going out of order again. I shouldn't be muted. Back, am I muted? It says that my mic's picking up, so I really shouldn't be. Have I just not been? Can you really? I'm gonna assume this is on Faxen. Okay, Sleepy can hear me. Okay, you scared me there, Fax. I was just talking for like 10 minutes for nothing.
I'm playing games and
Yeah. Alright, it must be on his end. Just like kind of leaping over again real quick, just so I can kind of even the tier list out. Bramble, which I really enjoyed a lot. It's one of the it's like a Little Nightmares style game where it's very narrative focused, and you're running around and you're trying to like oh, it took back to the very beginning of the live stream. That's YouTube's fault. Bramble was really cool. I liked that it had like these like Scandinavian like folklore type things going on. It had a really sick final like boss fight situation with like the music. You remember how that like where finally you hear the Hall of the Mountain King like slowly building up and it gets more and more epic. That was really cool.
he's like hacking.
Yeah. It has some really good like moments. Like there's some very high highs and low lows.
Yeah.
Very dark. I like stuff. I'm debating on if this would go favorites. It might. I really liked it. I'm trying to think if there's. I don't think it had any like really bad flaws. Like these style of games are a little. Sometimes the gameplay could get a little finicky at times, but the checkpoints usually make up for that, so you never get too frustrated. That's how Little Nightmares is. So I think I would throw this up and I really like this game. Really early on. That says High Joy. Yeah, Fact doesn't live anywhere near me.
Fact lives in it.
Fact lives next to Sam. A big pole. He lives inside of it. Okay, so next we have Stardew Valley. This is a kind of another game where it's not super up my alley. I get like I get what makes it appealing, but it's just it's cute. And you know, it's cool to go around and talk to people, and it's a mixture of like a farming sim, but then you also could go to dungeons, and that's neat, I guess. But I put a decent amount of time into it, and it's not one of those things that I feel like I'm coming back to anytime soon. I'll put this. A lot of things are going in okay already. High J would be the evolution of Relax J when you use a leaf stone. Oh, the chat's being weird. Sorry about that. I guess YouTube acting up. Yeah. Okay. And then let me know if the music's too loud or too whatever. I mean, it's okay if it's a little quiet. It's fine. Okay, Extermination Force. Damn it, I feel like this might... This game is a really cool concept. It's a boss rush. Did you see this game at all?
No.
It kind of plays like Contra, but it's like a boss rush, and there's robots, and you have like a... I think you have like a hookshot type of thing, and it kind of plays like a Contra or Metal Slug. Really cool idea. Everything's giant mechs you fight. It just, unfortunately, the gameplay just isn't there. It's not quite there. It's just, the only thing holding it back is the gameplay. It's just a little too, it just doesn't quite, yeah, it just isn't. That's what I remember, and I'm sorry I can't remember more specifically because it's been a while, but that's what I remember from this. I just remember it just having like 6 out of 10 controls. Like it works, but it doesn't always work very good. That's what I remember. Shadow of the Contralossus, as Zach said. Yeah, and this was a budget game. I did get it for really cheap. I think I was wearing the Steam version is especially weird, and you should get the Switch version if you're gonna get it. Yeah, unfortunately, I think this has to go here too. I really wish I could put it up a little bit higher.
Here. It
Uh-huh.
might be good. Mark me.
Yeah,
Again, like a
yeah.
Gitsy.
Well, that's why Fac's here to remind me how I felt. So here's Gunman Clive. This was a really short game. There was 2 games I played in one stream. That's how short it was. It was like 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And it was very basic. There wasn't anything really wrong with it. But it also wasn't like super groundbreaking. Man, like it almost comes down to okay as well, but like not for any faults it has. It's really just that the game is good, but it doesn't really have anything exceptional about it. But I don't know, maybe it can go up to pretty good just because it doesn't have, I don't remember having any specific problems with it, so maybe I should pull that up to pretty good. Oh, it was from the same games as Gunman Clive. That's right, I forgot about that. I'll put that in pretty good, just because I don't remember really having any problems with it. So yeah, the only reason I started early is because I'm going over to Mike's house to just hang out and have snacks and stuff for damn, I should have asked to pick up some sparkling cider. I actually was kind of craving that. But yeah, we're just doing it early because I'm gonna be heading over in a bit, and I don't know how long. This shouldn't take too long, but just in case, we'll see. We're not gonna get wasted. We're gonna get Omega wasted. Should have seen Gunman Clive on 3DS. It looked great in 3D apparently. Alright, so next, Liza P. So crazy, like I really enjoyed this. This is the most like Souls type game that the most I've enjoyed of a Souls type game aside from Chronos. But Chronos like is pretty, it's kind of more different, if that makes sense. Like I feel like Liza P is closer to like a Souls or a Bloodborne than Chronos was, because Chronos is a little more, there's something about, you know what I mean, like it's a lot more scaled down, and it has sort of a different vibe to it. But and Liza P was like really, it took me a little while to like figure out how to play, and I could barely run the damn thing. But when the huge difference between this and the Souls games I played is I feel so satisfied when I actually beat a boss. I'm fighting the boss, and I was like, I know I can do this, and I keep doing it, and I learn it, and every time I've ever beaten a boss in Liza P, it's because I've nailed down so many of the like punishes. Like I hit so many parries, I know I'm doing good, I'm hitting the punishes, and I'm not surprised when I win. And that to me is like, it feels like how other people feel about Liza P. That's how other people feel about the Souls game who really are into them. That's how I feel about Liza P, I guess. Because I haven't got, like, Elden Ring is the one I played the most of, and there's some bosses where I did enjoy, like mainly the gals. But a lot of the other bosses, it was like, I only won because the thing I summoned helped me a little more this time, or I got lucky. And I did not feel that way with Liza P. Okay, right. He was calling that Twink Souls before it. Yeah, so we did 100 games this year at least, I think. Around 100, like different depending on how you make it count. Drink with Walter. Okay, Yakuza 0. Alright, let's see here. Let me think here.
Like the whole how much has.
Yeah, Yakuza 0, there's definitely things I can appreciate about it, but it is one of those like really larger scope games where, for me, when a game gets to be a certain size, a lot of it starts to kind of feel fillery for me. And that's why I kind of prefer shorter games a lot of the time, because you can kind of trim the fat and kind of just focus on like, and I'm not against games that have moments of build up or like slower moments. But Yakuza, I don't know. It's enjoyable for sure, but it's not one of those games that like I feel compelled to like I gotta keep going and see what's gonna happen next, or I gotta keep going and do every side mission. Like it never makes me feel. Doom is on the list. We'll get to that. Oh yeah, Mike isn't getting picked up by the mic.
I was sitting back a bit. Oh. Fine. Sit up.
He said originally he was just gonna lay back while I did it, and then he realized it's hard not to talk. Doc said Yakuza series is like the buffet of games. I feel like people are gonna join this stream and see like Zelda and Yakuza in the OK tier and be like, who is this guy? Who does he think he? It's bad. It's just that's my level of enjoyment while I'm playing it. And sometimes there's little moments in Yakuza that are like, oh, that's funny or that's cool, but like, yeah, could you just grab me like maybe like a Pepsi can from that thing? A little bit of everything and you walk away going, oof, maybe that's a little too much for me. Because of 0 out of 10. Jay's first refund ever tier. Oh god, yeah. Oh god, it's next too. I didn't even realize. Alright, so we might add or take away tiers as we go along like we did last year. It depends on how this spreads out. For right now, so this is Enchanted Portals, and I'm just going to give a little recap on my feelings here. I was not one of those people who was crapping on this right away. I actually wanted to give this a chance. I actually thought, no, this is a small group of two. Small group. It's a small team of 2 people. I believe it was their first game. They were obviously putting effort into it. Like a lot of people are crapping on the animation. It's like you can't compare it to Cuphead. Cuphead is unprecedented when it comes to the animation. And actually, this game's animation was actually not bad for what it was. It was actually like you could tell they put effort into it. Obviously, it's not Cuphead level, but it was not bad. I know, unfortunately, the game itself didn't play very good, and the structure of the levels and the boss fights was bad. It just wasn't good. They didn't do it very well. It was bad. Yeah, I was very disappointed. The game itself felt incomplete. I really wish they could have put more time in it. They needed more people. It was 2 guys. They clearly have the art and animation down. They needed some more people. They needed someone who does game design a little better. Not a little better. They need somebody to do game design better. They needed someone for sound design because the sound was just very, very stock, generic. Yeah, unfortunately this goes down to the bottom here because it just didn't feel like a finished game. If these guys were to put the effort in to like fix it up, and it's very clear that they fixed it up, I would like to go back to it and try it again because I think it had potential, but it could have been a nice little thing, but yeah, unfortunately it didn't work out.
Be the love. Didn't work.
Right. Here, I might want to move the mic so that way you can, because you're probably still not getting picked up very well. Wario Land 4. I'm not talking about Wario Land 4.
Yeah. played it.
Oh, yeah.
This year.
It was last
You
year.
played 2.
I did every Wario Land.
But you played 2 this year.
Oh, this year.
Because
Okay. I thought 3 was a lot. Did I play them? Man, it feels like I've done so many games that I
I think
felt.
you played 3 because you played. I
Yeah,
think you played 3.
3 was the last one I.
Oh no, I'm saying 3 in total because you also played.
Oh.
You also played the Japanese.
Oh, you mean the Virtual Boy?
Well, you did that, but there was like when I saw like another.
Oh,
When
that's
it was right
Wario
on the
World.
list.
That's Wario
Oh,
World.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's move on because we have a lot to
Yeah,
go
my
through.
bad.
So Doom. I'm telling you, it looks like I'm making a troll list. I'm sorry. But
because everything is like mid. that everybody
everything,
loves.
yeah, everything that a lot of people would probably have in their top tiers, and my personal. I'm sorry, Futility's already saying I enjoy it. It's just not my kind of game. It's fine. Like, I can even see where you get into your little flows where you're running around killing. It just, for me, it just doesn't. It doesn't really do it for me. It doesn't give me a lot of like satisfaction. Of, like, yeah, this is fine, but I wouldn't have played it if it wasn't enough. It was just, that's just how it is for me. I don't think, did the game? I'm trying to remember things about it. There were bosses.
Power up.
You know what's funny? Like, one of the things in the game is it's for weapon. It takes a while. And then there's like an ability to make use of weapons fast. It's actually on purpose. I'm gonna put, okay, I'm sorry guys. It looks like I'm trolling, but it's just life. Here we go. Hypno, Space Outlaw. This was really cool.
That was like that text adventure.
Yeah, not a text adventure. It's like you're browsing like the early 90s, like mid 90s internet. So there's just all these like web domains going through, and you're like the web police. You're like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you started saying like some kid was like,
yeah.
like you're like gonna have him around.
I should have that song on my standby list. Yeah, that kid had like this cringy like. It feels like a new metal song.
Oh, like on his like basically a MySpace
yeah,
page.
yeah, on his GeoCities MySpace. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying because it's not even just that I'm trying to not hurt people's feelings, because I'm not. I'm also trying to avoid like a horde of a mob. That's also a possible outcome. But no, this is gonna go, I think, high joy. This is really like, I love the aesthetic. I love the idea. I love games that do different, where it's like you're going through web pages, trying to like figure out stuff, find things that connect to other things. That's really cool. There are certain points where you don't know what kind of class. It'll go. This will go high joy. Like a Peter jump. Might not have been that. It's better for me to be a little too quiet than too. Yeah, Hypnospace. Okay, Haunted.
I thought you were gonna do that.
Yeah, I wasn't, but back threw it on, so I'm just gonna be real quick here.
Oh.
I'm gonna judge the presentation because I don't want to judge it by the demo. I don't think that's fair to do that because the demo would be hard to even how that would even come. So the presentation for this one, last year, the first Haunted PS1 demo disc was just the PS1 style demo screen, very basic. That's fine, that's what needed. Second one, you're going through a museum. There was an FPS interactive part of it. Each game had its own exhibit room, which is really cool. There was a little secret where you can find 2 extra games. I really liked that. And then you had this one, which took even a step further, where there was a lot more time spent trying to like unlock secrets. You actually had to unlock most. You didn't have to. There was the option to go through all the games, like in a. But you know, if you're doing it like, you know, proper, then you have to unlock most of them. Which I feel like could be mixed depending on who's playing it, like I think it is cool that it had all that extra. Part of me did almost feel like maybe this is a little much, like that a lot of the time was spent in the hub. Maybe it's just the fact that there's so many to get through that way. If I was just a kid who got this as an actual demo disc and that was in the demo disc, that would be really sick. Like a whole game like with demo disc. So this is just based on the presentation alone. Okay, here's the thing. I would put this in the excellent tier. Only reason I'm gonna drop it down one is I know I said I didn't want to base it on the demos. This technically was like a secret, which me is kind of more relates to the overall presentation. The final secret I unlocked in this was a big disappointment because I think I talked about that, right? Have you? It was a new version of the Sonic game.
Oh.
And the original Sonic game was one of the best demos. The first remake where they like rebuilt it from the ground up. I don't get it. Yeah, it's the Sana penalty exactly. In fact, you could watch my review where I talk about it, but it's like the game wouldn't even boot up for me for a while. It took forever to boot up. And it's, okay, whatever.
That's right. This thing was like struggling to.
It was struggling to boot up. Yeah. And then the game itself just like you couldn't actually do anything. And I even had Fact try it out to see if he could get anywhere with it, and also couldn't get anything interesting to happen. Because you don't have time, you're on a time limit. In the original Sonic game, if the time limit runs out, like a demon comes and gets you and something happens. And it's like, okay, something happens. And the new one, the time runs out and you just, the demo ends, happens. And I tried really hard to like, get it in time and she was disappointed in the kids. So that's gonna bring that down here just for that, unfortunately. But I really like the Haunted PS1 demo disc. I hope they keep it. All right, so moving on, Everhood. Holy, this was really cool. This one already favorites of the. This game was really sick. I figured I would like it. I didn't realize how much I would like it. I thought, okay, this is clearly Undertale inspired. It's probably going to be pretty good, but I don't know. Like it feels like it's going to be one of those like smaller projects that like aren't going to quite hit excellent. It really like was really good in like all aspects, pretty much.
Maybe things should happen in hot take.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, I mean interrupt you.
Oh, that is fun. Everhood. So the art and sprite work is great. I like the layout of the worlds, how there's like the different doors at the hub you go to each place. I really enjoyed the story was good, the dialogue was good, the gameplay, the soundtrack was bumping. I thought the one thing was gonna be the gameplay was maybe gonna not be the tightest. No, it was. It works great. It worked perfectly. That was the one thing I thought, like, just because it was like an indie game, I was like, maybe the gameplay's not going to quite hit. No, it hit really good. And then to top it all off, it is inspired by Undertale. I think it transcends that and it really becomes its own thing. Without getting too much into spoiler territory, I would argue that Everhood is almost like a response to Undertale's messages regarding how there's like the whole kill everything route. They have their own way of going about that is very interesting and very different. Alright, sorry about that. Dr. Pieces.
It is called Listen to My.
No, that's just him. They're quoting.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Piece. It's called Steel Python. And you know, actually, yeah, Everhood was excellent. I'm not really thinking to put these in a specific order most of the time, but I'm just gonna throw that to the. Yeah, Bramble's great, but it is one of those like where there's like little that aren't a 10 out of 10 just because it's a game and they don't, you know,
That's like a 9.8.
you can barely hear it at all now. All right, it's hard to tell because like it's such a small. OBS isn't really. Yeah, if you could, it's better if you could barely hear it than if it's too loud, I would say. But yeah, Everhead, excellent game. Okay, Baba Is You. I would say so. This is a pretty cool game. It has like a nice art style. It has a neat premise. I feel like a lot of times this is like a Galaxy Brain game. I don't have a Galaxy Brain. But I think every puzzle I tried set my mind to eventually beat. If it took like an hour on some of them. Every 3 decibels, half this. Really? I didn't know the math on that. Yeah, the next song's too quiet, I can already tell. I'm gonna put this in pretty good. I know there was some moments where I was really frustrated because I just felt dumb because it really isn't a game for me because it is one of those games where there's like so many things to keep in mind that eventually I feel like it'd be much for me. I know at a certain point I think I would be stuck forever, and so I don't know if I'd ever try to come back and, you know, do the whole thing. I don't think I beat the game, right? Is there even a beating the game? There is a beating the game, but like, is there like a base beating the game that isn't 100%ing it? I don't know.
It's kind of like just.
Yeah. Right. It's a. I mean, this would be a good game for like. This is a good what I would call like an airplane game. Like you could just waste a lot of time. I think that's another part of it. Certain games just take so much time to like make little progress. It's an airplane game. The multiple dimension. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty satisfied from where I got. I'm actually curious. Remember how much I got past?
I can.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like I know we got through a decent portion of it, and I was also trying to like do every puzzle in every area. It was just up to a certain point. So yeah, so that goes there. Pretty good. It's a good game, and this isn't at least it avoided the okay section. Well, that doesn't tell me anything.
Just saying, like, as a.
How much time did I put into it? Can you tell from that? I think it's like 20 hours. I feel like I put a lot. 15 hours? Okay. If I ever get to the point where the map screen developing, I don't think so. My other friend Mike actually 100%ed it. One of the funniest stories I have from I was trying for a puzzle was, have you figured out some bullshit yet? That's probably good to him. Alright, so we have Darksiders 3. This is another game that I probably... It's a little 3D Zelda-esque. I think the first Darksiders was especially 3D Zelda-esque. If they were more like a hack and slash.
Well, yeah, that's the general. Very sad.
Just funnily enough, Darksiders 2 is a little like more Breath of the Wild-y, because it was a more of an open, more of an open area. I came up. Maybe not. But this goes okay for me. It's fun, but it's not like. A lot of these games is like, how much does it like stimulate my brain and make me really, you know what I mean? And that's just one of those games. There's nothing really wrong with it that I can remember. It's just. So we have Tori.
You need more than mine.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the thing, like with No More Heroes, for instance, where there is to a degree some mindless beating up enemy. I think it's because those sections are short enough, and the story bits and moments between them are so stimulating that it really pushes me to keep going. Whereas for me, a game like Darksiders 3, it's like, yeah, this story is not bad. There's some interesting stuff in it, but it's not like, and it's not a fault of a lot of games. It's hard for me to really get interested in thing unless it's really doing different.
Yeah,
That's all
fair.
it is.
It's those kinds of games are definitely not.
The monkey brain nerd. The vision. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Like, especially if I come across like another playable character who's more hungry.
The Darksiders 3, I guess, a little more much. I remember it being like, I feel like I actually enjoyed 3 a little more than 2. I think that because the 2 had the larger area you had to go from place. But yeah, Tori 3D and 2, yeah, we will put those together because I can't even separate them from the brain. I think I did them both in one. And it's one of those, you're going for the goal, there's some platform, and it's not bad, it's challenging. A little basic, but it's kind of got some neat stuff to it. I'm gonna put these both in. No, you're a little like a chick.
Okay. Yeah, actually. Oh, Torty. Oh, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, art. Good for you.
Those actually, I actually missed that.
Yeah, it was probably a pretty short one. Both games. Chibi Robo was really cool. Really cool game. Cool, unique concept.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Very cute protagonist. Yeah, it was a neat game. This was a neat game, and it was one of those things like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Is the family gonna get divorced? Like, it's really funny. Like, it's dark. It gets dark at a certain point. Like, the daughter's just traumatized because her family's falling apart.
Right.
She's been cursed by a freaking frog. No, you think, oh, she's just obsessed with frogs. She thinks frogs are cute. And then no, when you put on the frog hat and talk to her, she's like, a wizard cursed me. Really funny. I'm gonna put this excellent. Really, really cool.
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel better, Fac, like at least Chibi Robo's spirit lives on in Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, I think this could be a good way to explain like how like the size of games can affect things. Chibi Robo, I want to say, was that like a 12-hour? Oh, want to be. I could also just check. It says about 12 and a half hours. Yeah, this is a great length for me. Like, if this was like a 30-hour game, it probably would go down. Like, it's just one of those games where at a certain point, it's like, you need to, like, a game needs to know, it's like a good TV show, it needs to know when to wrap up. Like, even if it's a really good, it could be, like, really, really good. At a certain point, it's gonna start dropping. The returns aren't gonna be as worth it. Yeah, it is a shame Nintendo killed it. Yeah, the freaking aliens and stuff. Yeah, like there was a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting in Chibi Robo. I'm glad I didn't know any of it.
Yeah,
Aside from the Smash trophy.
Yeah, because like it just really just looks it's a fun game about a small robot like not die from
Control. There's things in Control that I thought were interesting. I wish I could have seen more of. I think the gameplay was a lot of this back for me. Might be one of those games that just you should really play it with a mouse and keyboard. Fortunately, I don't think my computer could run it, so that's why I was
you gotta
playing it.
PS4.
Yeah, and I think I tried booting this up on my computer, and for some reason the game wouldn't even like run. On the gamepad, this game does not play good. It has problems. It has all I need to tell you is when you're turning to aim, it has build-up speed.
Oh, it's one of those games.
I don't know why any game, like, okay, You can have a degree of it, maybe, like at the very start. I feel like RE4 might even have a little tiny bit right at the
A little
start.
bit, yeah.
But it does it right, because you can aim with the gamepad RE4 like perfect, just fine. You could do it. It works. This one, it doesn't. It's not consistent. Like it would go and then it would stop, and then it just really had a problem with that. Gobble said, "I'm shocked you like Liza P, considering how Souls games." Yeah. What I was saying earlier is like something about Liza P. It just clicked with me more than like any of the other Souls games I've played. And I'm just gonna a brief reprisal of the main point is, for me, with Souls games, mainly Elden Ring was the one I played the most of. I rarely feel satisfied beating the boss. A lot of the time it was like the thing I summoned helped me a little better this time, or I got lucky, or the boss acted dumb or something. Sometimes it wasn't the case. A lot of the time it was.
Mm-hmm.
With Liza P, it was always the case where I learned the boss's moves, I parried and punished especially good, and then I won, and it was like, yeah, I felt like I should have won right now, so I did. Like Liza P, just for some reason it worked. And maybe that means I'll like Bloodborne more,
Yeah,
because it's similar to Bloodborne. I think my brother said I might like Bloodborne.
I agree. Since Liza P, Bloodborne's been Liza P.
So I might have to, yeah. So I might have to try Bloodborne proper. Control. I was telling you the main, ironically, is the controls.
Yeah.
Another complaint off the top of my head that I remember is when you're dying, the screen is like covered in red and it's hard to see, and that would often get me killed. If I'm dying and now.
You got that all the dude.
Yeah, that's basically. The story had some interesting stuff to it. I like that we're in this weird, like, dimensionally shifted place. There was like these like SCP type objects. It was an interesting story. It was it got a little grindy too at times, where there's a lot of go to this room and kill all the enemies, go to this room, kill all the enemies. I don't know.
I didn't really seem like that kind of game. It just seemed more like
was
from here to here kind of game.
If I could get to play Control with mouse and keyboard, I think this might go up, but for right now I'm gonna put maybe one day we'll get to cover. You think I would? It's more indicative that you Sekiro. That's another one I think my brother.
It's good. It's getting kind of tough, but you can definitely feel yourself build up on that joy you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So Gobble said I kind of wrote off Liza P as a knockoff, but it's. I would say it is. I really actually got. And keep in mind, Gobble, my computer could barely run it, and I was having fun. It could barely run it. Usually, when I would boot it up, it would take like 10 or 20 minutes to like stop chugging, and then I could actually play. And then it would still once in a while there'd be some lag, but it was right on the lowest settings.
Just like a quick thing, like my favorite part of such a there's like a boss with like a mask, and it zooms in. It's supposed to be showing whatever's on the mask. It's just this poop, just this horrible mess, just like this nasty pixelated creature. And as I'm watching it, ugh, what is this? I don't want this.
It's a creature. Doc said people were telling me carrying Eliza P is harder than Sekiro, and I just get it. I think it's harder in Sekiro. I remember at first I didn't understand it and I was trying to figure it out, but then once I did, it definitely got a lot more intuitive. Alright, so let's move on because we have a lot to go through still. 8, the deathmatch. This is, I'm just going to say, this is basically Mega Man and a Doom clone. As a Doom clone. Fun for what it is. It has some neat story that it's cool that they put I wouldn't bother really like playing much of it if it didn't have story to it. But it does kind of get repetitive. It's literally just kill all these robots in this level, kill all these robots. It kind of goes and goes and goes. It's fun for what it is. If you like classic Doom, you probably enjoy it. So I'm just gonna. There were boss fights too. I like that there was boss fights. Some of them worked better than others though. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was a couple boss fights that were like huge pain in the ass if you didn't know which powers to bring. I found out later, like I basically like nerfed myself fighting one of like the hardest bosses. I didn't have like any other weakness. And then like, I was looking it up later, and it's like, yeah, make sure you have these weaknesses, and I didn't have any of them.
I know also like way down the line when you had access to pretty much like just the amount of scrolling you would have to do.
That
to
was
get
another
to
problem. Yeah, you
Yeah.
had to manually scroll through them. And that wasn't even all the abilities. That's just I happened to have all of them. Oh, Demon Throttle and the Sunstar was in it. Demon Throttle. Yeah, so granted, that was a neat game. I think I kind of frustrated me because it was like, no, it wasn't you lose, you start the whole thing over. It's if you want to get to the true ending, the secret ending, you had to find these secret routes, and you could easily like not know where the secret route is and then miss it, and you just missed it for that playthrough. You have to either start over.
I don't think I got any.
Yeah, so at the end there's a giant demon boss fight. Yeah,
that's
and-
right. Okay, I remember. I guess I caught the end
Yeah,
of it.
giant demon dong.
Yeah.
Doc said that's what I get for recommending the game without beating it first. Yeah, so I got to that and I was like, "Fuck, what have you done?"
Right.
And wasn't there also like a succubus?
I'm not
chick?
sure.
There was like a succubus or something.
I just remember like
I
his,
did
his
not
like
ex-
leg is crossed over and then he uncrosses
Yeah.
his leg and his giant dog.
I did not expect that. That was funny. Yeah, this game was like for what it is, and then when I realized how short it was too, I think I realized, okay, I thought it was gonna take longer, and that increased my frustration when I was like having to redo those parts. Maybe this will go pretty good. I wish I could remember like how I felt about the gameplay, and I assume it was fine. The second character was a vampire. Try to go more quickly. Disc Room. This was really cool.
They were
This was a really, really simple game, but like challenging. It was literally just there's death discs in this room. Survive it, basically.
sometimes get killed by it.
Sometimes get killed by them.
Yeah,
There's
very
a
interesting.
lot of extra bonuses, yeah, where you needed to like do things. Yeah, all these little challenges. There's different powers you could get. The only thing I didn't like about this game, you remember? Like, I think I went into detail explaining it to you, where one of the final secrets was like so cryptic you would never figure it out.
Yeah, like
It just didn't make any sense. It wasn't like.
was it like you had like follow like directions?
I think so. You needed to follow the direction from one room to another room. The name of the room doesn't help at all, like they usually do.
Yeah.
That was like the one flaw. It was like one of the last like levels to unlock like the last secret and stuff. Just it didn't make any sense. It wasn't even cryptic in like a interesting or clever way. Just yeah. But I think I'll have this in high joy. I thought it was really cool. And that last thing was kind of annoying. Oh, Dark Country.
No,
just
that's
kidding.
fair. That's totally fair. Compared to Tropical Freeze, yeah.
No, actually, I enjoyed Donkey Kong Country Returns
No, it's fun.
quite a bit. Like, I do agree. I think Tropical Freeze is better. I think
Like by miles.
Yeah.
Like not even like in an offensive way.
one of the biggest things about Returns that wasn't as good is that it's funny. It's basically the whole soundtrack is just taken from the old Donkey Kong Country, but they're just not standout at all. Like, it felt like the composers were too scared to break the mold too much or mess around with like what the original was, so nothing really stood out. So when the Tropical Freeze came out and they had a more
They had David Wise come back.
yeah, they David Wise
he
come back.
fixed that problem.
That's a huge thing. Yeah, he was like, "What are you guys doing? We need to make some new music." And like, they made really good music.
And he used like some remixes here and there, like for when you go water, like aquatic animal.
Yeah, Tropical Freeze would definitely go like up to one of these probably. I really enjoyed it, so this will probably have to.
It's like it's I guess also like the whole it's like the Tiki tribe being the main enemies. Like they're kind of bland because
Yeah, it was as neat. The Penguin Vikings.
yeah.
That was cool. All right, yeah, we'll put that there. Right. Jungle Beat was a. I'm so glad I finally got to play this. Special thanks to Back Again for the donation. I literally have the.
He sleeps with them.
I do. They work, so that's cool. It was a neat game. Obviously, there's some like weirdness about it while you're playing because you're bongos. What do you expect? But it was a cool game. It wasn't long. It did not overstay its welcome. I was able to do, I think, all of the unique secret stuff. The only thing I didn't unlock was like a harder version of the final boss, and that's fine. I'm honestly, I feel like just because of like the gimmick of it was cool and it didn't like overstay its welcome, I would put it here. I thought it was really fun.
Nice. Yeah, Donkey Kong deserves to be the high.
Yeah, we'll have those there. Oh yeah, Forgotten City.
We
I
have
forgot
Elder
about
Scrolls
that.
at home.
It was originally a mod of something.
Oh really?
Yeah, Zach, do you remember what Forgotten City? There's an older version of Forgotten City you can still play. Concept, but it was a mod of maybe. It might have been a mod of Oblivion. Yeah, the main problem with this is just it wasn't running right. And
Skyrim
it was
mod.
Skyrim, okay. It was not running right for me, and then for the viewers it was even worse. Somehow.
Man,
like
yeah.
even less frames were getting picked up by OBS. I know that's not inherently the game's fault, but at the same time, the game should not have been lagging that much. Like it didn't, it wasn't like I was playing, a brand new 2020 AAA game. Yeah. But aside from that, I thought it was a really neat idea. You're just kind of going around trying to solve a mystery essentially, and fix problems, and it's like a Groundhog Day loop. And there were some things that were a little. I remember being like, "What?" I remember they're just damn game here. Oh, it's on the Switch.
Oh.
I would hope that it works. I don't know. I might have just had for some reason it didn't like my computer. I don't know. But this was interesting. I think the concept alone should push this up to pretty good. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. Like if I was counting that it was not running good, it would drop down. But I'm just gonna be like, okay, let's say it's supposed to run better. I'll say pretty good because it was interesting. Oh, Hotline Miami 2. Did I did one like the year before?
Yeah.
I've never had computer issues before. I know. It's not a game that should have gave me computer issues, which is kind of weird. So Hotline Miami, both of these games were really fun. I like these types of games where it's like Celeste, where it's like you're gonna die a lot constantly, but it's it doesn't like you're able to restart immediately basically. Right where I like those types of games. They fit my brain. Hotline Miami is really satisfying when you get good and you're like at it and you're like figuring out the rooms and taking everyone out. It's cool that in this one you had multiple different types of people, characters, different. Did the first game you had different masks that also had different?
I don't
remember. Try to group games with their sequels. I appreciate that. It's got a really cool aesthetic. The music is great. It's kind of a little pessimistic. I wish that the story was a little less pessimistic at times. I appreciate the whole, like, it'd be very easy to look at Hotline Miami as like a mindless, like bloodlust indulgent type of game where it's like, oh, it's just about like, look at all the bloody, like there's certain games where it's just like bloodlust. But this game is done in a very purposeful way where it's like every time you've done all the clearing out, you have to slowly walk back through the whole massacre that you've just done, and you have to kind of just like look at what you've done. And I feel like that's on purpose. Like
it's got a very somber,
yeah,
especially
right. It's trying to make you question, like there's a reason why every single character you kill stays there. They don't vanish. There were more subtle effects in it. Oh hey Dragnix. Telling me Enchanted Pearls wasn't one of your favorite games of all time. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's a shame.
Ugh, I forgot Dragonix played that too, and I think he played even further than I did. I don't know
You played
why. Yeah, I couldn't. Oh, it was a little more than that, but
It feels like it was definitely a treat.
Yeah, I had to couldn't do it. It is notable that's the first game I've ever refunded.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, yeah, it was
no.
because to me it doesn't feel like a finished game. They shouldn't have put it out. I'm sorry, like they really needed. But anyways, Hollow Miami 2, really enjoyed it. Game was actually inspired in part by a quote from Clockwork. Highlighting the. Okay, that's cool. Clockwork Orange is a. Yeah.
I know,
Classic,
yeah, I know it's classic. Everybody's.
I'll bet this is an excellent. I think Hollow
Okay.
Miami. I've never heard of this. This doesn't. It shouldn't even be here. It's not fair.
Happened to play it because of that Suda
Yeah.
announcement.
Yeah, the Grasshopper. I mean, I think a lot of people know by now Killer 7 is like my favorite game. I don't think
You should have made it like a different list.
I know.
Or a different say Killers.
I'm not even gonna waste time talking about it because people already. I'm gonna do.
You talk about it whenever you play
Yeah,
a game.
I'm gonna do a video on it at some point, so that'll be it. And then right after Flower, Sun, and Rain, which this was on last year's list, which I was debating whether it should.
Killer 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Killer 7 out of. Flower, Sun, and Rain also goes up here. It's just one of those special games. It's a classic Grasshopper Suda game that's just. They just do something special for me where it's like. It just really is like, what is happening? I want to know more. This is cool. Even if there's like some weird, clunky parts to it. Like, Flower, Sun, and Rain is definitely one of those games that has a little bit of obtuseness to it at times. But it really makes up. That's true. I only finished it this year, and I could have changed. My opinion could have changed by watching the end. No, I think it just went even higher. Spoiler alert for anyone who cares. Not gonna matter to anyone watching right now, probably. But by the end of Flower, Sun, and Rain, you realize it's a secret, like, sequel to the Silver Case, which blew my mind. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
I had no idea this whole time. It was crazy. There's still a lot of things that go unspoiled from, but yeah, I was like, okay, wow, they've been having the Kill the Past crossover since the beginning, basically.
It's because Suda's a man.
He is. Okay, God of War 3, or is this 2? Okay, that's 2. This might be another game where I just kind of throw in here, where I've kind of explained, or where it's fun, it's not bad, it just feels a little mindless. And the story has some neat stuff, but it's just not super stimulating. And after playing God of War 1, 2, and 3, I don't even know where I would rank them. Like, they all just kind of feel around the same. Yeah. And that might just be a me problem, because I've had times where I've felt that way about a few different games. Like Dead Space 1 and 2 to me feel so samey that I can't even. I love Dead Space 1, and Dead Space 2 is just as good, but because it was so samey, like it wasn't as impactful.
Wild and
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is Tears of the Kingdom, pretty much. Except Tears of the Kingdom had a better boss fight, final boss fight. You think so?
I think
better
so.
overall?
I feel like it was.
Like
I
they learned
still-
from the first game, like how to
Yeah.
improve.
I like Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, definitely.
I almost said I still never played the new God of War games, but I liked 3. Yeah, it was good. It just, I think we were talking about this before. God of War games are probably a product of their times. They were probably
Yes.
more, they stood out more back when they came out, probably, about like the shocking, like, whoa, you're like killing people to solve puzzles.
Yeah. You're getting blood orbs by doing certain things off camera.
Yeah, so it's probably just one of those things where they just don't really stand out. And maybe I'll play the new ones eventually, and then maybe I'll like the. I almost said apparently you got a platinum trophy. think it was impressive in its own way that God of War 1, 2 are also similar in terms of, yeah, none of them are any worse. Like, it never drops off at any. Opposite, I find style and I thought it was like, I thought it was a reboot for the longest time. I was like, oh, it's a reboot. It's a completely new take on it. Like, and then I found out it's a direct sequel. I'm like, what? That confused. Because Kratos seems like a completely different person, and instead it's like Nordic gods, right? But it's like, it's interesting though. Oh, okay, so it's Kratos.
Like, it's definitely a very pretty.
Maybe I'll like.
Games
Honestly, that might be one of the reasons why the first 3 games don't really click with me. I don't really care about Kratos that much. To me, he's kind of a baby. Literally, I'm honest. Like,
no, I know.
Literally, his origin story is he was fighting in a war, a battle. He was losing fair and square. He was like, "Oh, Ares, I'm losing. Help, help, Ares." And so Ares came and like helped him win. Cause like it's just that's like pathetic. And then because he's supposed to be this like proud Spartan warrior,
right?
And then it's like, okay, he got tricked by Ares and killing his family, but like, is it because he he wasn't trying to not do Ares like bidding?
I don't
remember. I think it's like a crazy like situation where like his family's ashes were put on his skin. That's kind of a cool like
because he wears like sin.
Yeah, Kratos is just like not that, like, I get it, like he's supposed to be like, he doesn't give a damn, he's gonna kill everyone in his path. It's just like funny to me that he's supposed to be considered a badass and his origin story was help him. It's actually funny. But anyways, okay, Godstrike. That was the boss rush game where it's like kind of like Fury if it was only the shooting. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Also, he said apparently the exact criticism I had God of War was addressed in the bullet hell. So this is one of those games where I think it's a great concept. I love bosses. I think there was just something about the presentation that didn't fit right, where I couldn't like bullets well enough. Like they weren't standing out. The hazards weren't popping off for me, and I think I think that was my problem with. I think the gameplay was okay aside.
That's definitely a big problem then. Can't see the bullets, then you're picking up.
It was an interesting concept. You could spend right. So you have a time limit going into a boss fight, and once the time limit ends, I think you die in one hit. Like your health drops. Is that right, Jack? So you have health up until the time limit, and then you don't have health anymore. And you could spend time from the time limit to have abilities for the boss fight. So that's a cool idea. I do think that's a cool idea. But that's the reason one of the reasons I like Fury so much, is a similar game, is because it is a complete opposite of that, where you just start off with everything you have and you never change. You don't ever
learn boss.
Yeah, and there is games where I do like getting new stuff. Like Zelda's a perfect example of that. We're like, oh, I'm getting a new equipment, I'm doing new stuff. For Fury, for a boss rush, I don't know. I kind of like the concept of it's just all about learning the boss. I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of how I played Cuphead too. Like, for the most part, I think maybe I used like the Vanish Dash. I think that's the only real power up I used, aside from. Oh, maybe. No, I think that's because I actually just liked using the Peach for the whole time. Except for the star where they take away your sword. Oh, and Fury, yeah. I mean, even then, it's not like you're suddenly introduced new. It's just, oh, I can't do this. Godstrike, yeah, it's just one of those games where it could have been better. I think I was just kind of disappointed by it. I feel like this kind of goes into okay as well, honestly. Because the bosses also were like just not quite like Fury's bosses are all really interesting, and Godstrike's boss, they're just kind of big, like, yeah, like, and they're like animated objects, if I remember correctly. I don't think they're organic. Yeah, I think they're like statues. There's nothing wrong about that. It's just not as interesting. I feel bad about putting it there. I feel like I wish I could. Alright. Right. Gungrave. So this was the first game I played this year, which means it is the least fresh in my mind. I remember it being short, and I do remember enjoying it for the most part. It's one of those games where it's like I think it would have just been mindless after a while. It goes here. It goes here. That pretty much sums it up. It's a neat game. I've never watched Gungrave the Ant. But it's neat. Like I thought the story was neat. There games were.
Is that the game? You're like
Yeah.
There's like a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that's kind of like seeing like cutscenes of.
This is gonna be controversial.
Oh yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush.
This one's like pretty beloved.
All right. Once again, I mean, I'm trying to explain everything. For me, I think this goes into okay, but it might be that my computer just couldn't quite handle it, so I was kind of playing at a disadvantage. Because the whole point of the game is the rhythm, right?
Yep.
And I like rhythm. Like for me, like Everhood's like a perfect example where like the timings of all the music and everything, I was able to do it just fine. I wasn't for Hi-Fi Rush. None of it, like it just didn't feel right for me. And I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say that it was computer was just not handling it right.
Mm-hmm.
But the game didn't make. There wasn't enough pushing me to like go past like even though like I'm not quite doing the gameplay right. Gotta go to okay. If I get to try this again one day and I can actually, I realize okay, I was my computer and plays better, I would probably bump this up a little. Maybe if I was able to play even more, it would go even higher. I don't know. But for right now, I have to put. Jockey said I still need to play it. Too busy to overlook game. This Mega Man stuff, dude.
Mega Man.
Yeah, each one like.
Which Robot Master?
He's like going through every Robot Master slowly.
Gutsman is very gamey. But Footman.
Oh, Eco. So Eco's an example of a game that doesn't play the best. Sometimes it could be really annoyingly like obscure about what you're supposed to do. But the overall station is so interesting. I think this pushes it up. Push it up here.
And best permission.
Really, it's a really interesting game. Kind of play. It honestly kind of just doesn't feel good to play.
Oh no, because
For the most part,
it's old.
there's a couple parts. I think most of it you're able to do the puzzles okay, but once in a while there's a part where it's the story enough to. I'm very intrigued by it, but I feel like it's got to stay here. Keep in mind, Shadow of the Colossus would be up here. I love Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, I remember.
I really enjoy Shadow of the Colossus. So I need to play The Last Guardian. That's I haven't played. Trilogy. So yeah, we'll move on. Oh, this is Owlboy. Owlboy, I feel like another one I'm gonna get some crap for.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I thought that the sprite work and animation was amazing, and I thought the story cool. It didn't feel the. I think it's just the Kirby effect for me, because I've explained before that Kirby feels weird for me to play, right? Because I'm just, I don't know what it is. There's something about the way you float and you like jump. It just never feels satisfying. I'm too used to like more of a Mario style where you have like more weight.
Right.
That's why I like. That's why the Epic Yarn's one of my favorite Kirby games, because it has less of that. You can't even float in that. Right? Pretty sure you can't float.
No. I think you get around.
PS5 had the ability to play Shadow of the Colossus at FPS, and it was illegal. Last Guardian is an interesting, frustrating. Eco was finicky too, but I mean, even Shadow of the Colossus is finicky. I just enjoyed the experience so much that it pushed it up.
I think wasn't Fact saying that Last Guardian has like it feels better to control.
Oh, maybe. I don't. Oh, yeah, he might have mentioned. But anyways, Owlboy, I think just for me, it's just one of those Kirby effect things where the gameplay doesn't feel the satisfying. But because of like how, like really good the animation, I do think the story's pretty cool. I'll put this in good. I think that escaped the dreaded okay tier. If Sword was here, they'd be happy. Well, maybe not. They probably wanted to go higher, but at least they would have done. What is this? Oh, Bloodstain. So this was the one that I. You know what? I haven't. Look at how much we've been avoiding the bottom two.
Yeah, no, like it's been it's just they've all been getting shoved in the.
Honestly, this one might go here.
Oh.
I
like
just
the moment
yeah.
you say that.
I don't know. I just didn't. It just. Yeah, I don't know. It just for me, it felt like I already like Metroidvanias already aren't my favorite. They need to kind of have some film for me that. And to me, this felt like a mediocre Metroidvania. That's how this comes off to me. It feels like a very middle of the road Metroidvania.
But Jay, you have to kill the ladies. You have to kill the demon that killed the lady. Man's daughter.
That's right.
Because you made that as a joke and then like came true.
The side. That's right. That was hilarious. I forgot about that. The side mission. My neighbor, my cousin. Pet snake.
Yeah.
Avenge them. But yeah, that goes there. Zach said I'm too nice. I have to be.
Yeah, drop it lower. Funny.
It goes there. Feels a little too close to this, but I was thinking about making another tier right here that's just like eh.
I mean, I feel like wasn't really my thing. Kind of fills it in.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The only thing that I'll have to change is if something's worse than this, not as bad as this. Okay, so Yoku's Island Express.
We got Mega Man Soccer coming up. So.
Oh god, jeez. Yeah, we don't have to talk about it. It's a soccer game that I don't know how to play. It's like, why is this a game?
That's good.
Yeah, that evil enough?
No, that's right.
On the Vania side of it. And another thing is, like, I got lost, and I was trying my best not to make progress, and I was like, I don't know where to go at a certain point. I was like, well, there we go. I'm already not that interested, and I'm lost, so it's like
well, guess I'm done with this
the
one.
nail in the coffin. Yuka's Island Express. I like the idea that it's a pinball game.
Oh,
I think it's another airplane game where like it would be cool to just play like to waste time. I don't think I was really compelled to. One of those things where I wish I liked it. Is this
to
X1?
be fair, I've never played X2.
Oh, it's X2.
Yeah.
From what I remember, this was a like.
Trouble in the.
That was the first Mega. I don't remember. I can't. I don't know what it is. I can't differentiate Mega Man X1 in my head. Did X2?
X2 starts you off with it.
Okay.
When you have to.
Doc, remind me how I felt about Mega Man. I'm sure I at least. It's a Mega Man game and it's not bad, so I feel like it at least goes here for me because I like Mega Man games. Like Fack is struggling to remember it. I almost feel like that in itself should make it drop because like why are you so not memorable?
Yeah, that's fair. Like
I'll put it in pretty good. It's Mega Man and it's not bad. I do remember the first Mega Man X had a horrible. Why the music?
I hate it.
Oh,
I really wish you could turn that off.
Sorry guys, it paused.
Yeah. Is there a way to stop the "Are you still listening" crap?
Maybe.
It's so annoying because I really hate it when it does like in the middle, like I have like an 8. song playing.
Right.
It's like, are you still listening? It's like, yeah. Keep playing. What are you doing?
Yeah, so the first Mega Man X, I remember having a huge problem with the final Sigma area because I was told if you ran out of lives there, you have to restart the whole thing, right? Like essentially restarting Wily's Castle. That's horrible. Why would they do that? The only reason I didn't have to deal with that is because I save stated it. I didn't save Scum.
Right.
And if anything, I beat Sigma more like hands-on than most people do, because everyone's like, oh, I just use the Hadoken. I was like, well, I don't have that.
Just beat him like normal.
Yeah, so I feel like I earned that. Yeah, I don't know why. I can't remember. So I'm gonna just put that. Maybe the problem is just a lot of Mega Man games just kind of
start blending.
They do. They start blending. They're good, but they start blending.
They'll have like little bits here and there that stand out like a bit.
That's like our Call of Duty. Like we like it, so we play them, but they're like they really are very similar to each other.
Yeah. It's when you see like a style change, it sticks out. So like 7 and 8 felt better.
Yeah, exactly.
Then 6 through 4.
7 and 8, I would say 9 even stood out just because at the time it was like, whoa, and new.
Yeah, I went back to
because 10 I can't even remember that well, but 11 also stood out. 11 was really cool.
It looked really.
It was a new Mega Man game. Like it was really cool. Okay. Metal Gear Solid 2. So I finally got to play through another Metal Gear Solid game that wasn't the first one. And overall, I did enjoy it. Yeah, it was cool. It had a lot of... I didn't enjoy it as much as the first game, but it was still Metal Gear Solid. I appreciate Metal Gear Solid. I like that it's different. I like that it's weird. I like that it does interesting things.
You like running around.
Right. That freaking stuff towards the end, did you see it? Where like it was like going crazy? The Colonel was like saying all this crazy stuff. Did you must have not caught that.
Is that the one where he's like, you have to turn?
He tells you, turn off your game, turn it off. You've been playing too much. That was really neat. I like that. Gobble said I would put Metal Gear Solid 2 above all others. Or I really like. So you would put it above
above Twin Snakes?
Literally. I really like Twin Snakes a lot, actually. That's like
you put it over Metal Gear Rising? That game slapped. Which is fine, like that's how you do it.
There were a couple times in the game where I was just so dumb and I didn't know how to do certain boss fights. Like the bomb guy would have been a million times easier if I realized you could use the bomb sensor.
Oh, right.
Because I've explained it, right?
Yeah.
Where, okay, so in Metal Gear Solid 2, you get a bomb sensor that lets you detect bombs. And then as you go on, you find out those were decoys. Okay. And the real bombs are more hidden, and they're not able to be detected by the sensor. So then the special bomb guy makes you a super bomb sensor that can sense the super secret bombs. And then you get to the bomb boss, and he's in one part of the challenge is he's planting bombs all over the boss fight arena. So, okay, let me check if I can sense them. I use the super sensor. Oh, doesn't work. Okay, I guess you can't. I didn't find out until later. You have to go back to the original sensor to sense those bombs. I don't know why, but yeah. So that boss fight was kind of extra hard for no reason because I didn't know that, and no one in the chat watching that either apparently. Yeah, other than that, I don't know. I feel like maybe I would have this here. Hi Joy. Just for the fact that I think Twin Snakes feels a little more iconic to me. Metal Gear Solid 1 in general. They did have cool bosses in 2. A lot of it felt like it was kind of retreading 1. And I realized that was part of the theme of the game. That's actually on purpose. But at the same time, it's still... The area is a little more... I don't know. Like, it feels like... The area wasn't as interesting. I don't know. It's a good game. But it's gonna go Hydra.
Which don't.
I think Metal Gear Solid 2 agrees. Yeah, I just finished it. Oh my god, why is Sub-Zero Mythologies on here? I forgot I played through that this year. Holy
just
crap.
throw it down there.
Holy
Put it where it
crap.
belongs.
Here's the thing.
Oh, did you?
I like these better than those two. I do. I really do. These games don't even really belong next to each other because they're very different. Like, this game isn't at all busted like Sub-Zero is, but Sub-Zero is more interesting.
Make it Sub-Zero here.
Yeah. I need to take that song off my. I think it always gets copyright claimed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, forgetting to remove. Yeah, Sub-Zero's garbage, but it's like kind of a delicious garbage. It's a good way of putting it. I really like the idea of it. It just sucks.
It's so bad.
So bad.
Yeah, it definitely keeps your attention.
I'll put it there. I had some hate comments, at least one that I remember on my review of Sub-Zero. You're just bad at it. And I was like,
It's a bad game.
I just
what are you talking-
explained in detail. But okay.
Like, you can be bad at games, yeah, but when the game itself is just bad. It's
I
like-
thought that this was like, this had an extra long portrait first.
Oh,
like,
because
it blended in.
Yeah, it's like connected, like
Mhm.
perfectly.
But yeah, no, this deserves to be above these because at least it's
Okay.
interesting. It's
No,
just,
that's complete.
Super Lucky's Tale, totally, it had every reason to be okay. I think it's at least pretty good. I was very surprised at how much I liked Super Lucky Tale. I thought it was gonna just play. I thought it was gonna have 6 out of 10 controls. I thought that the game the pulls that good. Bosses were, all of it was better than it had any right to be. I don't know if I would put it up here, but I think it at least deserves to be. I was very surprised at how Super Lucky Tale. The gameplay is just fine. It works pretty good. It's like quite good. It's very satisfying the way they do the collectibles in the game. Like each level had like 4 collectibles. Like get 100 coins, find the secret one. Level. It was a very satisfying like type of platformy, electric gold star equivalent. Yeah, exceedingly pleasant. That's a good way. It's too bad that like a lot of these games in the same category have like completely different reasons. The score is just averaged out. That's why I'm like taking the time. Alright, oh, I Was Awakening. That was a cool game. That was a really, actually. That was a sort of an NES style 2D. I don't know how to explain it. I might footage of it.
That's fine.
Unfortunately, it's another one I think I really need to rack my for more detail. I remember having a really satisfying time with the boss. Like, oh, I think all the bosses in the game were tweaked to such where they felt like almost impossibly hard at first, and then you could get to the point where you could beat them without getting hit almost. And I think that's like an excellently designed boss. To go from being so hard to the fact that you can learn it that well, that's the sign of like an excellently programmed boss, I would say.
Puzzle platform.
Yeah.
I guess the lizard guy. NES.
Right, there was a lot of the the guy who did Lizard NES, he ported this to NES. So I didn't play the NES version, but he did port it to NES. Yeah, so where did this Hydroid? Maybe pretty good just because in the end it was also kind of a little Metroidvania. There was a lot of like figuring out how to open the map up in places to progress. I think there was a spot or two where I got stuck because, but it was cool. It was a cool game. Oh, Never Awake. I forgot. This is a bullet hell. Like you're in like a nightmare place and you're like auto scrolling and it's bullet hell, and there's bosses. There's like a story to it. I really enjoyed this. It has a cool art style.
I missed that.
It's one of those
Was
games
it like a
that,
one-up?
yeah, I think so. It's short. It's one of those games where it looks like the art style could be come off as looking but they managed to like make it look good and animate well, like instead of just like this. Yeah, I think this was excellent. I really enjoyed it.
Oh.
The one criticism that I would maybe give it, or even just like something that I think is good, is every time you beat a level or do a certain level, you unlock like a page of a diary. So it kind of unveils like a backstory. The pages unlock completely randomly. Yeah, so you're getting like a page 37 and then page 2 and then page. So you're like, things won't. It doesn't lend to like how supplementary storytelling in a game, if done right, it could have like these like build-up moments where like, what does that mean? And then later you find out, and there's like these like get these revelatory moments that are really satisfying. You can't really get that with that unless it happens to unfold that way. Probably won't.
Like in any order.
Exactly.
Like it shows you what order to collect them, but you can just straight up grab them.
Yeah.
Like seeing the end, the whole
first,
and then like, oh, then your next one is.
It's like what happened to me where I saw someone die and I was like, oh no. Anyway,
yeah,
because I didn't know who it was. Dragnix will accept muy excelente for never away. Yeah, he liked it all. I think that's where I saw it first. Was Dragnix was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it. It felt good. It played good. It looked. Oh yeah, Nightmare of Decay.
That's not the one.
This
where it had like some not Easter. There was like
a mimic.
No, it was
I did not expect.
Which one? Which game was it where like see like the guy from Silent Hill and he gets time?
Oh, that was this, I think.
Oh, was that this one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's like a first-person Resident Evil with a bunch of horror game homages. That's
okay,
a great way of describing it. Yeah, this was pretty good from what I remember. I remember it like. This is one of those games that I could tell could give certain people a hard time, but it gelled with me. Well, like I managed to figure out the neat. I figured out the puzzles pretty well. I think I was figuring navigation. Oh, Happy New Year's.
New Year.
James runs off and drops a question. Yeah. I feel like there was something maybe towards the end there was I don't remember. Or maybe there's just some like little parts about it. I don't know if this quite pushes up into excellent. I did like it a deal. I think it was a cool game and it was short.
Like that.
It was only $5.
Just aside, like I like that it went from like the approach for you.
Oh yeah.
Angels
Despair. Yeah. I love that. It's only like freaking like 30 seconds long, but
it's so good. It's so definitely.
That means it was catered like specifically to that scene, probably. Why it like hit so.
I mean, it was literally attached to that scene because swapped out the three.
Yeah, Snake Pass. I think it's a neat idea. I could not play it for the life of me. But, you know, yeah,
you were struggling.
I was struggling really hard. For me, it was like Quap, but a snake, and I think maybe that was the idea. But yeah, it was pretty rough for me, but it wasn't bad. Oh, the Cosmic Shake. Yeah, this was kind of disappointing. The original SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom isn't like an excellent game, but it is, and kind of like a spiritual sequel to it. It's a little worse than.
I feel like I was trying to write.
It definitely was, and it just I don't know, like it just. I don't even remember what it was about it, but it's definitely. I saw the like special edition, like I think Warrior 60 tweeted it. It was originally like $150 and it was only like $40 or something.
Cosmic shit.
Yeah, they had special editions for like hundreds of them. Yeah, because they're trying to. Yeah, like Getting Over It or Quap. I kind of want to try Getting Over It, even though I'll probably.
I've seen like enough to know.
Hey, I beat Quap. okay?
Oh no, that's fine. No, I'm saying for myself.
But
Like,
no,
I would never
yeah.
play Getting Over.
But co-op's a much.
I'd probably just go myself up. Not being able to climb one.
Pac-Man World 2, that is a childhood. I guess I mostly did Pac-Man. Yeah, butt bounce.
There's your butt bounce.
I can acknowledge it's not like the best game in the world, but
My childhood game wasn't really.
that's it pretty good. I think for me, better than I had a good. There was one level that sucked. This one level where you're like, "What you watching?" It's like a spooky docks. For that,
I was watching some of it, but I might have been.
there's this level where there's like these spooky docks, and it's like, you don't know where the hell you're supposed to go. Yeah, that
I might
sucked.
have missed that one.
That was like the only level I think that was like.
Because I was either working or maybe.
Pretty good is fair. It's a real potatoes kind of. Yeah. You can unlock the original Pac-Man. I think you can unlock everything except the original, either Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man. I assume it was some like
games.
Yeah. Rhythm Heaven Fever. I really like this, but for some reason I have trouble with some of the games because I don't understand what they want. Like sometimes I wouldn't understand what the beat was, and then once I got the beat, better.
I'm not a fan of
That final
you-
level though.
I'm not a fan that you can get an S highest grade if it's
Oh right.
like
Because I perfected one.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, but we didn't tell you it was time to perfect it. It's like, screw you.
yeah,
Come
it's,
on.
it's like now I have to go through that again and like
Yeah.
I might not be able to get.
That's why at first I was like, did I mess up something? Oh, but double, is that true? But I do like it. It just inherently, I do like these types of games. I hate that the final level. One of the main problems is that you don't know what's screwing you up sometimes, especially with the big remix song. Like the final song, which comedically I ended the stream and then beat off stream on my next try.
Oh, that's right.
You don't know what's messing you up sometimes. It could be like one thing that's screwing you up and you don't know what it is. Because the way they calculate the points is like in mystery. But I'll put it in pretty, or high joy even.
They calculate it however they feel like at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you go big.
There was also that one song, where it's like the two guys rapping, girl. For some, the rhythm just doesn't feel right at all on that song. I think it's like someone else owns Miss Pac-Man.
Abanda.
I guess not. Oh, that's right, because they had to even change her name. She's Pac-Mom in the Pac-Man World Remaster. She's Pac-Mom. Yeah, the into you. Oh, I don't know what. There's probably some like Galaxy Brain polyrhythmic reason as to when you're supposed to do it, but it is not like intuitive at all. All right, next. Okay. WarioWare movie. I love WarioWare in general. I enjoyed this game a good deal. I don't think the controls were nearly as refined as, which was unfortunate. That was really just the main reason why this wasn't a excellent. Let's keep it. I plan on getting this game when the price drops because I do want to play it more. I want to play stuff just to have. Yeah, I don't know. Just the Joy-Cons already, I don't like them. They don't feel good. And then they have a chance to make them feel better with the straps, and they still don't feel good.
Yeah.
If they could shake them, they don't. Bother. The Joy-Cons unfortunately just sink this down. But because it's WarioWare, I gotta at least have it in high joy. Because it's WarioWare.
That's fair. Like, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned the one loop layers. Pro
Yeah.
controller down. Lay your Joy-Con down.
There's
like
there's
twist or
multiple
something, but
things
it's-
where you have to lay it down, And then, oh, hold these buttons down. It's like, why did you make me lay it down to do that?
I can't just do this.
Yeah, so Gobble, I actually enjoyed the WarioWare from last year more than Move It. I prefer the classic micro game style where each game is its own like simplistic thing you have to do. I prefer that to the other WarioWare game, but I liked the other WarioWare game. It's different, and it works, and it's cool. So I actually like to Get It Together more than Move It just for the fact that it worked. I think another thing that they made it harder on themselves with Move It is that in Smooth Moves you're only using the Wii remote for like 90% of the micro games, which makes them easier to program, I'm sure. The fact that Move It is you're using both Joy-Cons for every single micro game. That's just, it's gonna be harder to polish up. It's gonna be, and it's
awesome.
It is more tiring. But I don't know, maybe they'll patch it at some, they'll get a little better. Yeah, like I agree, Gobble. I do think that Get It Together is not my ideal way of playing a WarioWare game, but I just appreciate that they different.
It's a lot of fun because we've been kind of going.
Yeah, we were last time. All right, we gotta speed this up here. Okay, Wario Land Virtual Boy. I always hear, oh, it's the best game on the Virtual Boy. Probably.
The problem is it's on the Virtual.
It's probably the worst Wario Land I've ever played. I'm gonna put that in okay. It's just not that special. Like it honestly isn't. Like even the game itself, if it wasn't blinding you, it's just okay.
Actually, didn't you have to change it to like a different color?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was not using this. Oh boy, that would tell everyone. Okay, Wario Land 3 was. I appreciate it for what it is. It's not my cup of tea for Wario Land 3 because this is. I love Wario Land 4. Wario Land 4 goes up here. Mm-hmm. The only reason this comes down here is because I don't like the structure of Wario Land 3. I don't like that it's like go to the same level over and over again, and like I don't know. There's a lot of things that just seem designed to waste your time, but it's already like a game that takes a lot of time to do anything, so it feels extra frustrating.
Giving it a lot of filth.
Yeah, because the punishments in the game, yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of backtracking. You literally have to go to each level multiple times to pick up. Another thing that's annoying is that one of like the key collectibles, you have to either get them all in one go, or don't bother picking them up because they don't count as you having picked them up. And it turns out all you unlock from it is like the golf mini, which you play anyways, like as you're playing the game. It's a little too Metroidvania, yeah. I know some people like that. Some people, that's their favorite Wario Land. Wario Land 4 to me is the perfect way to do it. Wario World goes up here. I love Wario.
It's the Japanese
and this
version,
is the Japanese version with the better final boss. Right. I made a review on this, but I feel like I should talk about it. But just real quick, it has.
I shouldn't have to. But
yeah,
I want to.
It's a short game. It's simple, but it's like it has a bunch of really cool bosses. It has fun gameplay, puzzles. Is really tightly. Good game. Mario 64. Holy crap!
Because you were doing your.
Wait, that's not the DS one.
No.
Yeah, sure.
You played the original because you were doing like an amateur run of on Mario.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, we did an amateur speedrun. I did it in like
it took
2
like
hours.
it's pretty good.
It's like 10 hours less than estimated how long to beat, which is probably the fastest I've ever. The most like time difference I've ever done on one of those. Mm. The DS Mario 64, I've been looking forward to playing this for years.
Yeah, you really have, because there was a few points where your asking if like I could hit it on me.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Man, I wish it played well. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. It doesn't feel good to play. There's something wrong with it.
Don't like starting off as you.
No, that's fine. That's cool. That's cool. I like that idea. I just don't like how it plays. It just doesn't feel like in Mario 64. The only reason I'm able to beat it in 2 hours is because it plays well. I'm able to like, oh, I can side flip when I want to. I can do this when I want to. In this, it's like, oh, I need to walk across a bridge. I don't know if I'm gonna fall off. You have to hold a button to run.
I don't do
Disgusting.
these kinds.
That is just sacrilegious. I wonder if there's an okay because it's still Mario 64, but it's just very disappointing.
I would have dropped it into.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's Mario
I feel like it's
64
kind of.
is
I
my
feel like it's kind of
childhood.
spitting on.
It kind of, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's that bad. It's not like Yoshi's Island DS, which
Oh,
it would
man.
it would become its own tier
Right.
like it did last year. Now, I'm surprised it hasn't come up in the chat yet, but I think both Fact and Ford try to say this is the definitive Mario 64, which is like, oh,
That's
please.
just wrong.
And I'm not trying to call them out, but I'm just trying to say that like
You want me to call them out for you?
I
Jay
that
thinks you
it,
guys are wrong.
it offends me a little.
It offends
It
you
offends
a
me a
little.
little. I'm gonna say
It's like
I'm
a
gonna be
slap to the
honest.
face.
You can argue Ocarina of Time DS is the quintessential. You can argue Majora's Mask, whatever.
No.
I don't care. This, no. Look at how many tiers of a difference there is. It is not even close. Sorry. I'm speaking on it. Alright, next.
Sunshine.
Oh, Sunshine. Oh, yeah. This. The only reason why I might drop this one tier down is it is really dumb that they force you to do so many shines in each level to progress.
Right.
You shouldn't have to do that. It goes against one of the whole things that makes Mario great. Oh, I got some stars here. I can move over here. Got some stars there. Oh, I'll move over to this one. Oh, in Sunshine, you need to get what is like 5 or 6 shines.
Like 5, I think.
And at a certain point, it's like, okay, this shine really sucks. Too bad. You have to do it, or else any other shines you're getting aren't going to progress you.
Especially
And
when
that's-
later they start putting kind of like
Yeah,
bullshit levels in.
yeah.
you're forced
There
to
are a
do.
couple levels that are really. That's like the one. That's the main flaw. It's really just that. Anything else? There's some really BS shines that you don't have to do. So it's like the pachinko machine.
Oh man, that one's just out.
Yeah,
busted,
if
like,
you had to
nobody
do
can
that,
play
that would. Yeah, that's the only thing keeping it down. It has that one flaw. Otherwise, it's a as
It's,
well.
it's so fun.
Mario Wonder. I really liked this. I will say it's not that this was like mind blowing for me, but just the fact that we actually got a new 2D video game the first time in forever. I really liked it. It's fun.
Mario game slowly going down. The next one's gonna be pretty good. Oh no, it's Paper
Oh,
Mario.
yeah.
Never mind.
This is up here.
Yep,
baby.
right up there.
Look at this. We got a lot. Paper Mario childhood game. It is my favorite Paper Mario game. Just for the, it's just so damn charming. Like just the visuals, the music. I can just hear it in my head right away. I can hear the town thing. I can hear the battle music.
I'm surprised you haven't thrown it on like.
I know. I should. It's been a while since I've upgraded my playlist. That's the problem. Yeah, I should do that. I love Paper Mario. I would say Thousand Year Door is probably the better game. Just because they did like fine tune. But me, Paper Mario's
Yeah, it's
the
not
favorite.
About, not about which game is technically
Yeah.
better. It's
I love the. I even love like the art style to the first Paper Mario. Like it just looks so charming.
yeah, it like aged fine.
Okay, Super Mario RPG. So this is gonna have to go here. I'm sorry.
Surprised. I kind of thought it was gonna go.
I
Just 'cause
am
of how
so. I
troublesome
feel like
it
I
is.
switched timelines. I've never heard a single person complain about Super Mario RPG. It's always just like, oh, classic, great. Okay, how about it? It doesn't work. How about the damage calculations are completely random?
Yeah.
How about nothing makes sense? How about all of that stuff? Don't get me wrong. I think the story's really great. I like the characters. I like the art. It is fun when you actually can play. But it has so many problems. Like it has so much like and you saw it, right? I
Mhm.
feel like
Oh, yeah.
everyone saw it. They were like, everyone's like, what's going on? Why did your attack that did 2 damage last time do 300 the next time? It's just
It's strange.
it's weird. And we all tried looking into it. Someone would tell me, "Oh, this is the weakness." I looked it up, and it would do nothing. And then I would use a punch, and it would do like 1,000. Yeah, it's silly.
But no, like yeah, I just don't understand like what happened with their control.
I don't know. And
It
then
just-
that
it just
one
fell
part
apart.
where they didn't put a checkpoint between 2 bosses
Yes,
that are
yeah.
both pain in the ass bosses.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Because especially you don't know at that point.
no, you don't
Yeah.
know. So the new game does improve.
It fell apart a little bit.
It fell apart a little bit
because it seems to have been on too.
Yeah, it didn't. It still had a lot of that random problem. It just had some other things up for it. I honestly wouldn't boost it up like way higher. I wanted to like this more.
I'm surprised you didn't knock that down further from the race.
That freaking Yoshi race. Yeah, I'm just gonna have it boosts. It's a little better, but I can't even. Unfortunately, I
That's
wanted
fair.
to like. That's how I felt, and I own this. I have the actual copy.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it's funny because I never beat it. I got right up to where you finish boosting power,
Mm.
and I didn't recall having all those problems. I just don't know if it's because I was like just this. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Might just be as the game goes on that it's getting more. Oh, Pikmin. Yeah, we did. Holy crap, we
You
did
did all
all
of them,
4
yeah.
Pikmin. All right, so
Yeah, you rushed them in time for Pikmin.
all right, let me think about this. So between Pikmin 2 and 4, those are probably my favorites. And it's hard to pick because I feel like it's almost like a RE1, RE4 situation. Where RE4 is technically the better game and probably like the best Resident Evil game. But RE1 has a lot of things about it that are really good too, and like it's kind of the best classic. Man. Yeah.
No one's gonna blame you.
Well, let's see. I don't know if I'm going to put it in favorite, so I'm trying to think of it
Oh, really?
really if I loved it that much. It definitely goes in excellent piece. I'm just trying to figure out which one. Yeah, I'll just put these both in excellent.
That's 3.
Oh god, 3 was my least favorite. You go in excellent. I don't know that they pushed. No, they didn't push it, but they're excellent. I did enjoy them a lot. And 1 I would just say is a little bit not as good, so I'll just drop that one.
First one is here.
In 3, yeah. I'll drop it 1 more.
Oh, okay. I thought that
It
was gonna go
wasn't
in
bad.
okay.
It just was not nearly as good as 2 and 4 for me. Because, I don't know, they did something with the gameplay which already threw me off. You don't even get cool treasures to look at, right? Isn't it all fruit?
I
And the
think so.
fruit's fine, but like, man, the treasure, give me back my treasure.
Yeah, it's like I like collecting junk.
I didn't like the design of the levels because they were like super dense and like really maze-like. So it's like you're going through all these ways, and then a lot of it is just unlocking like a bridge back to the start. And I much prefer when it's a more simplified world, and then there's like dungeons that kind of make things complex. Or kind of had both, where the upper areas were larger, but they weren't as dense. They weren't as like complicated.
It's kind of baby.
It's funny that Gobble says 3's baby mode, because that's not even like the problem I had with it. For me, it just didn't feel as fun. Yeah, but 2 and 4, I love them as a really good game. I mean, these are matched up with they're great. It's just these I have to like really, they have to be like special,
Like,
really
like
really
RE4
special.
is about to go.
Oh yeah.
Talk about it. It's time playing it.
No.
The complete opposite.
Yeah, no. RE4 remake was good, but I was I do have complaints about it. Does it go to pretty good or does it go to high joy? I have to think. I didn't even talk about RE4 Classic.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's your 5th time playing it.
It's like a perfect game to me. It's so good. So okay, let's think about it. if this was all the things I wanted it to be, it would be here. So let's start taking points away from that point.
Ada.
Yeah, so not just Ada.
No, I know.
There says Ada. It's not just
I know,
Ada.
it's the direction.
Ada, Wesker, Krauser. They all. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. We're talking about their voices, and then you go a tier lower. Yeah, Salazar. No, Salazar's okay. Salazar's okay.
I think he's a little off.
He's okay. He's not as. It's not as like charming as the original. But Sadler was weird. The village chief was weird. The rest, I guess, were fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think Luis.
No, Luis was great.
was good.
Luis was good. I like that you get more Luis. That's cool. That's a good point. I was not so much as too easy. It's just Pine and rock picking kind of trivialize some of the problems. Oh, okay. Okay, so
Voice direction.
yeah, I've been hounding on the voice direction. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even want to just drop it a complete just for.
It is.
Uh,
And even just like the art direction. Not art direction,
Okay, so
but,
for me-
cinematic.
yeah, so that's a thing that I like. I've talked about multiple times that I don't hear so much about other people bringing up. Is the cinematic direction is nowhere near as good as the original, and there's a lot of examples I could use for that. I feel like I need to make a video so I can show what I'm talking about. There's just a lot of moments where the cinematography, just the cutting, the pacing, is just not right. It doesn't hit right. And RE4 has hit so good. Like the moment where you're doing the first village gauntlet and you run into the shotgun house, and there's a cutscene, and Leon's frantically looking back and forth, and the camera's POVing back and forth, and then suddenly it cuts to a zoom in on a chainsaw, and Leon's like, oh, holy crap. And then in the remake, it's like Leon looks outside, and the camera like lazily zooms in on a chainsaw guy in the background. It's like, pardon me? No?
Yeah, it's like
There's a lot of moments like that I think a lot of people don't. It's not quite like bothering them as much, but for me, it's really bothering.
it's like they saw what they were supposed to do, but we're just like, maybe we could try to freshen it up, which unfortunately kind of ruined.
Yeah. Gobble said, I'm with you on the remake. It's a great game in its own merits, but in comparison to the original, there's a lot of puzzling cuts and changes as people making it didn't get what people like. I feel like, based on what you're saying, I was telling this to Mike as well, it feels like no one on the original game worked on the remake. It feels like there's a lot of little things that if you were involved with the original game, you'd be like, oh yeah, of course we should have this. And it was rather they were handed like the script. Because there's all these little things where it's like, oh, in the original, Krauser has this sick scene where his arm transforms into like a freaking soul edge, and then he's like, witness the power! And then Leon's like, you've lost me completely. And it's like this sick moment that always sticks out in my head. And then in the remake, he transforms. Okay.
It's fairly quick.
He doesn't say it, alright. He goes into a dark area, it's complete darkness, and you just hear him say, witness the power! Like, what?
Yeah, it felt like a throwaway line.
Witness what? The problem is, it's like they were handed the script, like, oh, this is a key moment. They would take, like these big memorable lines, and then take them out, and then shoehorn them in, like, nothing places. Like, the whole, sorry, bro, or no thanks, bro. And it's like, that's like the name of an achievement.
Oh, that's right,
It's like, why not just have him say it?
Yeah, that's right. There's like so many quotes that ended up just...
Yeah, there's
for,
a
like,
lot
for,
of
like the scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that where they didn't. It seemed like sometimes they didn't understand how like significant a moment was.
Like one I hated was Sadler got shot up. Ada's machine. In the original, like you see them like coming out through the veins slowly.
Yeah, the bullets drop out,
and then he just starts walking like slowly and menacingly towards Leon and Ashley as they're trying to get out. But in the remake, like, it's just real quick, oh, I'm gonna dump these out of my hand.
Yeah,
and,
there's
like,
a
do
lot
dash.
of weird pacing. A lot of weird pacing. You have the opening village scene when the bell rings and they're walking away. In the original, they walk for just long enough You know, I was like, where's everybody going? Bingo. The camera does this sick like aerial shot that shows you the whole area that you were just having to survive. I love that, like, it's giving you a different perspective. And then in the new one, they're walking for like, it feels like twice as long. Like they just keep walking, cut to another villager walking, cut to another villager
They have to like
walking.
show every single person for.
And then finally it cuts out, and then it slowly does a little bit of a pan back to the policeman on fire. It's like, it doesn't hit the same. It doesn't have that sick.
It says bingo.
It says bingo. A lot. It's just a lot of little stuff like that. I'm gonna have to. It can't be excellent. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
it's not. It's not excellent. The only reason it's as good as it is because it's RE4. And a lot of the other changes. I agree with Gobble. I don't know why they removed the QTEs. I love the QTEs.
Because people.
That's one of the key things about the original game.
Hey, like even the combat is. I know one of your biggest gripes was like the don't flick properly.
Right.
Because like they'll react properly when you shoot them in the arm, when you shoot them in the head, especially in the original flinch, and of course they'll leave them.
Oh, right.
But in this one, like even just the first guy they start you off with, the broken neck parasite. One, that ruins the fact that parasites, and two, like, you're trying to shoot him, but he just kind of barrels through all.
They introduce you with an enemy who like no sells your shots, even though you're supposed to be learning how to play the game. It doesn't make sense.
Even on normal, like where you think they would actually flinch better, but no, he just walks right through it and then like generally hit.
Gobble says he did like the Ashley section more. I did like the Ashley section. I thought that was cool. There is good stuff about it. I'll do a video eventually. I got to do a video comparing the two, and I won't just talk about what's first. I'll talk about things I like.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. We have Assignment Ada, or sorry, Separate Paths.
That's a game.
Yeah. No, I liked it.
No,
and it's nice and meaty for a DLC. I did have to pay for it, but it was like 7 hours a game. It was worth the price, but I'm trying to think.
Was in it.
Wesker was weird. It didn't make sense that he would go up. It seemed well, we made his model for mercenary mode, so let's shove him into the story.
Yeah, not necessarily.
It doesn't make sense. I'll probably just put it there. It was good. It was good. Ada was a little bit better in this, the voice acting direction. I feel like there was something about her where she was not quite as like soccer mommy.
Maybe because she actually had to like.
I just realized what.
Oh, soccer mommy.
But it sounded like I said. Yeah. Well.
But yeah, I think it's probably because since it's her story, she's in the booth for like much longer. She's not just giving like quick one-liners.
Yeah, she has a little more emotion to her, like what moments where she should have it. That's better. Oh, Save Room was fun.
It was like a fun little.
Yeah, it was fun. Also pretty good. I said that they made a sequel, and I have to check that out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like Save Room a lot. The one thing I said is like, if they simply like added in like a little bit of a story to it where there's like notes you read or something, it would have could have boosted the game up to cult status. I bet.
Is that an official cap? Or is that like a fan?
No, it's okay. Really fun though. I really liked it. I gotta check out the sequel. Oh god, I forgot about this. Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Right
Sorry,
now.
this is gonna be even more controversial, I think. So Shin Megami Tensei, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I mean, that's fair. Like we've talked about it too. Like,
yeah,
because I play crap that's like extra long and like Pokemon.
It's not long.
No,
I thought they would be.
Maybe, but it's just watching Jay play. Like, it does just seem convoluted for if it's like your first Megami Tensei game.
Yeah,
which
there's a lot.
Yeah, it's the 5th one, but it's like you got to be able to like let new people in.
Yeah,
like you can't gatekeep your own game.
To briefly explain why I don't like it, the game is so confusing about how to do anything. I feel like it doesn't. The difficulty of the battles don't make sense to me. Like I'll beat a boss and then a normal mob will kill me because they decided to. They could just decide to, like, oh, if they decide to attack twice and only focus on you, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
There's hard saves, or if you don't save, you could lose a lot of progress, which doesn't mesh well with a game where you're required to, what feels like grinding, just to get to a point where they say, okay, now go back and grind more. The pacing, I don't like it. I felt like I played 10 hours of game and I experienced 1 hour of game. I was in like the same area the whole time, fighting like just base enemies. They take about 2 minutes to introduce all the, I assume, main characters. You don't see them for 10 hours, and then you see a guy for the first time, which should be like a, whoa, it's him. I don't remember who you are, guy. I have no, there's nothing going for me right now. Right. Yeah, the art style looked okay.
Oh yeah,
that's
it. It's like
that's
a pretty
all I
game.
can say. I did not like it at all. There was nothing about it that I enjoyed really. Fortunately, I wish I could have. I got to a point where it was like, oh, you need to go back and grind more. You will never be able to beat this boss unless you go back and grind. Well, I felt like I was grinding the whole time, so I'm done.
Yeah. And then you died and like lost like 6 hours of that grind.
So I don't think it was 6 hours.
No, but
Chrono Trigger is something I need to come back to. I'll put that in pretty good. I don't know how much I could really say about this.
Put it in the bottom really piss people off.
People know Chrono Trigger. They're probably already pissed off I don't have it up here. It's a cool game. It's got like a fun story going on. The characters are cool. Honestly, to me, it doesn't really stand out from a lot of other RPGs. Like, I don't know. Like, it's cool. It's fun, but it's not like exceptional. But maybe I'll get more into it when I play more of it. Maybe the story will get me hooked. Risk of Rain.
That is a really... The original one is very unforgettable.
I kind of just had an okay time with it.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was okay. I
figured it'd be just...
I got mad because I got to the last area and I died. I just don't like roguelikes.
they did a remake and it does play better, but even the remake is still incredibly unforgettable. Because it took like me and a friend forever finally get to a point where play it consistently. Yeah, Risk of Rain 2 is
right?
way
It's a completely different game.
Yeah,
really,
it's 2D.
Right?
Yeah, Risk of Rain 2 way better. I love it.
I'll have to try that.
I've played so
many
hours
it,
of that.
so
yeah, I'd be happy to like for that and like.
And then I feel like Fact did this on purpose, and Noida is right next to it, basically.
Yeah.
Roguelike.
I like Noida.
I get it. Like it's like you can just boot it up and play it.
But man, Noida's got like the steepest learning. Like you start and it just goes straight up.
Right.
like it's another very unforgettable.
Oh, okay. Speaking of roguelikes, I really like Dicey Dungeon. Dicey Dungeon was really fun. Gosh, I might put it up here. Like it was really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, I actually picked it up because I watched you play it.
Oh, really?
It seemed like fun, and yeah, I haven't beaten it fully.
It's really cheap. I think I got it for like $1 on sale, and when it's not on sale,
yeah, I got it for like a few bucks, and yeah, like I've been enjoying it.
I like how each character plays a little different, you know, but they're all fun.
The way the system,
yeah,
it's got a lot of charm.
There's a lot more gameplay to it that I haven't even. Only reason I haven't played more of this is because like the last one I did, like no one showed up to this.
Oh really?
Well. I guess
that's a shame.
That's why Flower Stone and Rain took me so long. I was just doing it once in a while. Vampire Survivors, probably. I pretty much feel the same about all of these.
It's funny because like I played it a bit before you had even bothered playing it, and then watching you play like kind of rigged onto track, and I like really got into it for a while, and just started like destroying the game like relentlessly.
Yeah, it's just not the kind of game that hooks me. The whole point is that it's
because it just digs into your
Niku was cool.
It's very
yeah. It was cool. It was a cool short game. The story was cool. It's almost up here, maybe.
I feel like it'd be in High Joy if you play.
Oh, is there a 2-player mode?
Yeah, there's 2-player mode. It's completely different.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like a story mode. It's like a set amount of levels. Okay. But yeah, they're designed so like you're working together.
We'll say single player.
It's fun.
Oh like hell yeah!
Pizza Tower,
a lot of top tiers. Pizza Tower, excellent game. Very heavily Warland inspired. Also has his own stuff. Really fun boss fights. Love the animation. Yeah. Music's really good. Really, really fun game.
I like the main character.
Yeah, main character is funny, just like a nervous. Yeah, I mean, not much more I can say. Like, it's just really, really cool.
Yeah, Pizza.
And then next, did fact put this in this order like comedically on purpose?
It had to have.
Okay, so Jet Li Rise on Art. I'll just put this here. It's not the worst.
Okay.
It's not the worst. Like I would rather play these than these for sure. It's just it's just kind of boring. Yeah, it's a little bit under just because it's like it's kind of bad and it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
It's not the worst. Having played this a couple times,
it's still fun for what it is.
Part of me wishes I liked it more. I don't know. It might be one of those dated things where like, yeah, I think it's okay. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I feel like 2 definitely
I think so
was
too.
better.
Yeah, I'll have to play 2. I've never played any of them besides 1.
Yeah, because 2, like, I mean, just the crafting system alone really helps them out. There are some kind of bull parts in. It's
really Dead Rising's really very like rudimentary, or like there was interesting.
And I think it was good at the time.
His Castle Crashers not on the list. Was that this year? Fact put the list together, so if he missed something,
I didn't see them. I made the list.
That might have been last year. Oh no, that was last year.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah. You know, okay. So here's the thing. This might be. So this is a Samurai Champloo game. This might be the lowest rated game that Suda's directed that I would rank. He directed this. Oh. So I think what happened with this game is that they just rushed it. They didn't really have a lot of time. On top of the fact that it's based on an existing IP, so therefore they're also limited in what they could do with the story.
That's another one actually.
No one. It might have also not helped them. No one, like showed up for the stream. Maybe I would have gave it another stream because it was okay. It was just there was like a boss fight that was like really annoying. The combat's just okay, and the story had some fun parts. The boss fight there was this one boss fight I got into that was just like a huge pain in the ass. Sidetracked, yeah. Remember? Yeah, directed. Yes, directed it. Yeah, some people say that this was like practice for No More Heroes.
PlayStation 2.
If you look at working on. Okay, so Killer 7 was in production for like a while. It was probably right after Flower Sun. They have to consider that he was working on Killer 7. All his
I realized he did Michigan.
Yeah. So Michigan is one of those games that was like a side thing during, and then you had the Silver Case, which was a very focused thing for him, and then right after that, these Silver Case, sorry, the 24th Ward rather. Original. Oh yeah, he was working on that between 2005 and 2000. He was in the middle of working on 25th Ward while working on this and then No More Heroes too, because No More Heroes must have been in development for at least a couple of years. There was a lot of stuff going on, so I feel like Samurai Champloo was a rushed title. Yeah, literally. Yeah, like let's even if he only focused on after Killer 7, that's not that much time between. So I don't know. It just seems like one of those things. All right, sorry. I'd like had to explain that because it's Grasshopper game. It's just okay. It's the fact that it's and I like Samurai Champloo actually too. Silent Hill 2 was quite fun. I liked the first one better. I would probably rate the up to excellent, and I think this would go here. It's funny because Silent Hill 2 everyone always talks about. I love classic survival horror. That's what it was. It didn't stand out to me as much as the first game. Just a little more. But it was still interesting. But it
have like kind of like the same thing you have with
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say a little bit of that. Second one also didn't help that you needed to be using a PS2 controller to properly do all your attacks because it utilized the pressure sensitivity. Yeah, because you know the PS2 controller has pressure sensitive buttons and none of the other ones have it. So I could only do like heavy swings, I think, which probably didn't help for some combat. I didn't like have trouble with the combat, but it probably would have. Alva said, "I'm surprised you like Silent Hill 1 so much. It's good though, and I think." No, I really enjoyed Silent Hill. Through. I was shocked at how much like it. I really like that. Yeah, it's probably the same thing. It's just it just wasn't as much of a leap for me. I think the fact Silent Hill 1's a PS1 game also just. Simon's Quest.
That one's my fault. I'll take blame for that one. I didn't think people were gonna actually vote.
Yeah, it was a troll suggestion.
I was just like, oh, I don't know, let's just throw another one in there, just you know, to kind of even it out.
I don't think I have to.
We had to use a guide. We only got through.
The only reason it wasn't torturous is because we had to use a guide. Elephant Collection, classic, Newgrounds, Flash game.
That one's cute. I like that.
Armor games as well as it was really fun. I like this. I probably would like to come back to this. It's just a fun little timeless. Like
Throw elephants
run around, yeah, and like do all the stuff. It's got some cool. Tunic. This is a so I had a really bad experience with this, but I don't think the game's that bad. It's just if you don't do this path first, and if you don't find this out, it's gonna suck really bad. And for some reason, certain people were insistent on not helping me with certain things. Zach was like, it's part of the game, you need to figure out how to save.
Unfortunately, I was kind of like jumping on that bandwagon.
I understood that, and I usually agree with that, but I don't think they deserve that. I don't think they've laid the game out in a way where it pays to not know anything if you went the wrong direction. No, like it's better if you just you should probably go here first and do this, because then the game will just go more smooth. I'll say okay. I don't think the game is bad. It's just it's very easy to have a really bad experience. Danger Rise. Oh, try out. Oh yeah, one stream.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Right.
This is really fun, classic. If you like Sam and Max type stuff, if you like Grim Fandango, bonus points if you like Homestar Runner. Really, really. A little short, but it's fun. It's good stuff.
Bingo is actually.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
I would rate that at least up there. I personally, actually, I probably liked Danger-esque a little more just because it's got the Homestar Runner theme. I like Homestar Runner. Gravitate towards that. It's fun. Yeah, I might put Grim. I still need to finish it. It's a really fun game. It feels a little dated, I will say that. There was like one point at least where I needed to look up what to do, and there was no reason you should have known. Because it's when you're running the casino, and you talk to Glottal, your friend, like, hey, boss. And then you do other stuff, and you get like a VIP thing for a casino, for another casino, the horse betting. And you need to go talk to Glottal again, because it turns out he has a gambling addiction. And then he goes to the VIP lounge. But how would I ever think to go talk to Glottal about that? He never...
Unless he knew.
If he gave a sign about that, like, I've been staying away, boss. Like, but he never gave any occasion. He works at a casino. Like, it doesn't make sense, actually.
Right.
There's a couple moments like that in the game, and that's just how a lot of these old... But it's pretty good, and I think the humor is really funny, enjoyable. I like
his
Glottal.
Oh, is it Glottal?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Glottal.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Is it Glottal or Glottis?
I don't remember.
Glottis.
Yeah. I like him a lot. His
He's
the
cool,
guy doing his acting is killing it.
And that's also a Tim Schafer game. The guy just like that. It's The Murder of Sonic.
I still have to play.
Okay, that was a fun little game. It was fun for what it is if you like visual novel, because it's mostly that. Yeah, for what it is, because it was so short, I might put it up to pretty good. If it was longer, it would go down here. That's how important. That's how important it is to me. Like if the brevity of a game, if they know how long they should be. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up there. They knew how long. It was free.
Yeah.
Alien Hominid HD, classic game, beginning game. I'll put it high joy. It's not my favorite, but it's a very good game. It's got like Metal Slug style.
Very straightforward.
Very straightforward. Which brings us down to Invasion. Yeah, I'm glad it gave you a headache because it's one of those things where I might think, oh, it's just me. I'm being overwhelmed, but the fact that someone else was too. Alien Invasion is just like a weird, like chaotic, roguelike version of Alien Hominid. Not my ideal. It's not a bad game at all, but it's not my. It's okay.
That's why I left early. I just didn't
You
want
got
to play it
scared.
anymore. Yeah, I got scared.
Okay, so interesting stuff. We got Malbogia. PS1 aesthetic, Souls-like by a like indie dev. I'm pretty sure this guy pretty much does these like almost Souls by himself. Very clunky. There's some annoying parts where you're not exactly sure where to go or what to do. We were discussing this before. Where it's like, you know that big room you went to before? Well, you need to go to it again now, but now go to the corner, touch a statue that you probably touched before, nothing. Kind of dumb stuff like that. I appreciate what they're going for, though. It is playable.
I gotta burn the whole building.
Hey, Dylan.
I don't have that.
Yeah, I gotta burn down this whole building. Here's the ability to burn down everything. See. By the way, you don't have to do that. It's a waste of time.
It doesn't even give you.
And I almost want to put it in pretty good just for like the idea of it. I kind of do. I mean, it didn't. There were some frustrating moments, but I think most of it was actually decent. And I think it's an interesting idea. The fact that you're in. You remember which circle of hell it was? I think it was the 8th, maybe.
I think the 8th.
You're in the 8th circle of hell, or you think you may be, which is the treachery, right?
Yeah.
Or is it treachery or no? It's deception.
No. Yeah,
it's deception.
Because every boss is like based on like.
Yeah,
deception.
I did in fact.
Oh, he had fun with that one.
Yeah. Okay, so Godbeast. Unfortunately, I had a bad time with this. It's the same dev, and I really wanted to give it a chance. I had a cool idea. It's bogged down by a couple severe problems. Just a couple little but severe problems. You have to hunt these giant beasts in this giant city. The city's huge. It takes forever to travel. The map does not help. The compass does not help. It'll tell you like go this way, and it's like that goes off a bridge. I will die. I don't know how to get to where you want me to go. You get to the beast. You can potentially not even hurt them, and they run away, and they're in another part of the giant city.
That does not.
The compass is you holding your spear in the air, and then like the little tail of it like points. Sometimes it doesn't work. Other times lightning will strike you because you're holding it.
That was like your last. That was like right before you.
That was
shut
the
it off,
very
too.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just unfortunately had a bad time with this. If they just didn't make the bosses run away on a timer, I think that would have helped a lot. And if they would have maybe like simplified the city, this has to go here. I'm sorry, but I did play the sequel. They did improve upon it greatly. It's still very clunky, but they went a much more linear route. Gameplay works well. It works. I want to say it works well. It works enough. I really like the art style. It has a really interesting story. Some of the bosses are kind of sometimes the battling is a little but it's not bad. It doesn't feel bad to play. This goes in pretty good, I would say. And I want to say I'm actually looking forward to this person's game, even though they've only scored up to pretty good. And not just because they're very Suda inspired and it's very obvious.
You know,
I want to see what they could do. I know they could do something. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this dev has something. I know they can put it up. I'm gonna keep an eye on them. Oh, Ice Climber, because I reviewed them.
There is Ice.
Honestly, yeah, Ice Climber's okay. It's just a really basic arcade. It's a cool idea, but it's very, very basic.
they just haven't done it.
All right, Steam Dig World 1 and 2. So let's. I would say 2's a little bit better than 1. I didn't love 1. I'll put this as okay. They were fun. They were short enough that, like, if they were longer, I probably would have started getting bored. But they were as long as they were fun enough. Alright, we're almost there. Oh,
Triple
that's
threat or something?
Yeah, triple trouble. This was actually pretty fun for a Sonic game. It was like one of the easiest ways to get all the emeralds in a Sonic game. They give you so many chances. I don't remember any of the parts in the game really being annoying. Every Sonic game usually.
It's generally the levels that'll be seen in.
I thought this was bad. At the same time, it wasn't an excellent game. I'll say pretty good. Oh, Hitman. Okay, so Hitman.
Very dated.
Very dated. I had to use the... Okay, it's a PC game. But the PC controls don't make any sense. There's a different button for walking forward and running forward instead of having a hold shift to run.
I remember.
Which was like...
when you were trying to figure out the controls, it's like...
It just did not make sense. But like...
That's
Yeah,
when-
that is true. The Sonic game is a fan-made game. It's very good for a fan game, I would say. Yeah, Hitman, very dated controls. Even though it was made for PC, it was very harsh. It's like, here's your first mission. Kill this guy, but we don't.
We also drop you off where they meet. Figure out what.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff. I think I get the idea that I'll like Hitman. This one was like, I'll have to put. But most people don't even play Hitman. Like, a lot of people I don't even know that this is a game.
Yeah, no, it's very much like.
So this is interesting, Beautiful Joe. I did not realize how brutal this was. If I played this on Kid Mode, this would probably score higher, so I don't want to do that. But at the same time, Kid Mode would make the bosses too easy.
It'd be an excellent.
That was really fun.
That was odd. I'm glad I'm glad you caught that on.
Yeah, I have Hitman 2 for GameCube. Unfortunately, it's a 480i game, which means I need to run the audio through. For some reason, 480i games you have to do that. They audio glitches. I don't know where my jack is, so I'll probably order like a coaxial.
Oh, okay.
Like where you are a two-way one. I need to order one of those. Yeah, because I don't know where it is. Just yeah.
Okay.
Two-way
I can.
one. Oh, cool.
Yeah, because I just like.
All right, that'd be cool. Yeah. So I'll play Hitman 2 at some point. But anyways, back to Beautiful Joe. I did not realize how like brutally messed up this game is in terms of like the life system, in terms of the bosses, where they're like, oh, we're gonna initiate an attack off screen that's completely silent, and as soon as it comes on screen, it hits you. Then you lose 4 health. Like, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, oh man, they could have tweaked this a little. I think Beautiful Joe is a huge contender for being remade in widescreen HD. The widescreen would help a lot for those boss hits.
Like it should just be out.
Yeah, just zoom
Just
out a
in
little
general.
more. Yeah, and have a difficulty between kid and adult. It's just a
Yes.
little. I love the idea of Beautiful Joe. I think I'm gonna like 2 more when I play it. It's been a while since I played 2. I think I'm gonna like it more. And I hate to put it down. I wish I could put it higher because I like it. But I think it has to go here. It has too many problems. It's a really fun game.
Yeah, because you did seem to enjoy it. It just had its kick.
It's hard enough without the extra. Okay, so this is Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Oh, okay.
Very short game, but a very fun experience. You can play. It's literally took an hour to beat it.
Yeah, I joined in on that stream for a year. I had missed all of the.
Okay, yeah.
follow-ups.
I did both of these games in one stream because it's by the same dev. It's the only 2 games they have on Steam right now, but I think they've also done some mobile games. So, Sayonara Wild Hearts, very brief but really like compelling experience. It's like a rhythm, music, like you're running and you're dodging stuff game. Really cool, really nice art style, really cool visuals, lots of camera movements, but it doesn't make it. Good checkpoints, like you'll die easily, but then it's like, oh, but then you come back. Really, really cool game. It's got to be at least high joy, I would. Pushing towards this, but I don't think it's quite there. Definitely high joy. And same thing for Year Walk. Completely different game, which I love. Same devs, completely different game. It's a freaking nightmarish Norwegian, Swedish, like it's like a point and click game, but it's like there's like layers to the way you move. I've never seen a game where you move like that.
And the way you like hold items, you're like going.
Yeah,
too.
it's a puzzle like point and click. It's one of those games that's you'd be really confused and not sure what to do sometimes, but then you figure it out and it's really satisfying. I was really glad I did the whole thing without, because there is a hint option if you're stuck, which, well, there you go if you need it. But I'm glad I did it without that. It also took me about an hour to beat. That was a really cool game, really cool experience. Same thing, I think it goes here. And same devs are currently working on a game. Have you seen the trailer for that? Lorelei, the Laser Eyes?
Oh, I saw like maybe like a snippet.
Yeah, they announced it like a year ago.
What was like the trailer is like a statue. Maybe I'm thinking of a different. There's like something.
I don't remember actually seeing it. But it's like a cell shaded, like it looks like the survival horror elements, but trippy and like surreal. It looks Grasshopper Manufacturer inspired. That's an interesting solar panel array geothermal. With like a code, and when I put it in, like my computer explodes. It looks very like Grasshopper Suda inspired, and it's made by the people who made two of like the coolest game experiences I've had this year. And I almost wanted to put it up there just for that because they gave me really good experience. I'll put those. Very short, but like I'd rather a game be a little too short. And then Brothers, which
they're getting a remake.
I saw that. That surprised me. I didn't think that it would be the game. The remake?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was so popular. Like I've seen it times on like.
I don't think it's that this is popular. I think it's that they made Take-Two, and Take-Two is extremely popular. So they're like,
they did Take-Two.
Let's go back and make Brothers co-op and buy the people who made Take-Two. I think that's what they're going for.
Oh, Brothers is
Nope. Single player game. And that kind of bothers me because I feel like that's the whole like crux of the experience of the game, is that it uses the controller in an interesting way. Because when you're playing, this is the older brother, this is the younger brother,
right?
Like left side, right side, and that's a really cool idea. So it kind of defeats the purpose of that. But the game itself, yeah, was really cool. I think just for the fact that it had those mechanics, it was like a little nightmares type game, which I liked. It had a story.
It was way on the block.
Yeah, I like these a lot. Flower Center Reina's top favorite of the year too. Incredible. Killer 7 game of the year. Dude,
See,
Dylan,
Killer 7 kind of cheated its way onto the list though.
Dylan, I'm a huge Grasshopper Suda guy. Killer 7's like my favorite game of all time.
Like, it probably wouldn't have been on this list for the fact that like Grasshopper did the like.
Yeah, they did a direct.
Direct.
They did a Grasshopper direct, and so I was streaming it, and no one could find the direct, so they went to my stream.
Yeah.
And then at the end, there was like a freaking hundreds of people in there, and I was like, I'm not used to this. I guess I'll play Killer 7 since everyone here probably will appreciate that.
Yeah, they're all here for Grasshopper anyways.
Yeah. Shout outs to Pikmin 4. Played it recently. Oh yeah, Pikmin 4 was probably my favorite first party Nintendo. I guess it would. Papa Brothers is excellent. It was a really good experience. It really had a great example of using gameplay mechanics to tell a story. As we know, like by the end. Oh, you were lurking for the killer. Yeah, I'm a big, as you can tell by the song we're playing.
There you go.
That's it. We managed to do it in a decent.
Definitive. This is how everything is. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are mid, according to.
I changed the name of the truth. So yeah, here's my tier list. I'm gonna save it and post it in the Discord. If anyone wants to rank these games and like compare to how I rank them, feel free to. I think I linked it in the description as well. Please share me your games, your favorite games out of these. What you think? Or
I'm gonna
least
put
favorite.
Killer 7.
Oh.
I couldn't just first like scene with.
I'm glad. No, that's what made me fall. That was it. Like once I saw that, I was like, okay, you got me.
No,
I can't. Gotta keep.
I'm sure we've like told the story before. But I was just like in complete shock.
You're like, this isn't real.
Yeah, because it just looks like a Gmod thing.
It
like,
really does.
Like I was
That's
just
what's great about
I was
it.
so shocked, and then I was just like, wow, this is a.
Yeah. Let's see, any out of all of these, how about like just real quick? Do you have a favorite out of all of these, or any like a few favorites?
Here's the. I got a lot of my. Liza P. I haven't played yet, but I really.
I think you'll like it.
Looks
Yeah.
so good.
Did you like Souls games?
Yeah.
I like it. It's a Souls
Yeah,
game.
I like the abuse. So.
Oh yeah.
Risk. Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's different because Risk of Rain Returns is like they worked
the
on
remake,
it. Yeah, they worked on it. Noida, I actually really like once I started getting over that learning curve and started.
I remember you were playing on it.
Yeah. But I play stupidly because I'm like, I like this spell because it's really strong and
It
it'll
blows
also
up.
kill me.
Galo said pick or was his. That's a solid pick.
I'd have to really think. I'd probably say probably Tears of
Okay.
played that.
Fair. And that's good because it's like you were able to get enjoyment out of
Overall, Mega Man 8 probably still my game
every year.
Every year.
I like Mega Man 8 a lot.
No challengers.
Pretty much soccer.
Jesus. That's why we didn't even talk about it. I just mentioned it right to the bottom.
Alright, we're gonna wrap up now. I did this early because I have a big old party. But yeah, anyone who wants to join the Discord who's not in, feel free to talk about games. Peer pressure me in games. And yeah, I want to see other people rank these games. I like to see like last year. So
We definitely have to find time to because I want to beat all your playing just to kind of help.
oh
you
sure,
out.
yeah. All right, so yeah, happy
New Year,
everyone. Y'all have a good one. Or to oh man, I have a freaking tomorrow's already the another patrons pool. This is the first. So I gotta make that. But all right, we'll catch you guys later. Have a good night.
Remember, is right.